Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Y'all, welcome. Happy Thursday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, and all that good stuff. So if that's a show for you, definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today, including we got some Batman Part 2 news. Apparently, I saw a story where they were talking about that they feel that they figured out which role Sebastian Stan is going to be playing in the upcoming film. We'll get into that because I pretty much told y'all who he's playing. But we'll entertain the shenanigans. Plus, this Paramount Skydance thing. Apparently, Skydance has not gotten a hint. No apparently doesn't mean no to them. They're still not getting the memo. They still think this deal that they have is the best deal, whatever. We'll get into that story. Auntie Donnie McClurkin is finally speaking out regarding this being accused of S-ing an ex-assistant. I have that stuff. I have what he said, the whole kit and caboodle, all the good stuff. We'll break that down. Plus, Kevin McCall is claiming Chris Brown is sitting on a secret, meaning that he's saying that Chris Brown is a homosexual and a whole bunch of other things. He got sex tapes and all kinds of other crap. We'll get into that too, including his ebonically, his poorly written note on it. So we'll talk about that. Plus, we got to talk about this thing. I was not expecting this to even, I didn't even care about this at first, but child, I went down a whole deep rabbit hole regarding this Hilary Duff mom group situation with her and Mandy Moore and Ashley Tisdale. I'm like, what is going on? First of all, I don't even want to be thinking about these ladies having kids because I grew up. But they have a mom group. Ashley Tisdale kind of been singled out as being the toxic person, a part of the situation. So we're gonna break it on down. Even Hillary's husband jumped in the situation. Chelsea Handler jumped on the line. Then we got a girl that was from That So Raven that jumped in and had a revealing her bad experience with Ashley Tisdale. It's a lot. So we gotta break all of that down. Plus, Jenny McCarthy went over there on Stephen Miller's wife podcast. That bitch is trash, both of them. And she was talking about why she would never step foot over there at The View. Even Sherry Shepherd ended up coming to Jenny McCarthy's defense in the whole situation. I got the clips, I got all that good stuff, so we'll get around to that. Courtesy of Entertainment Weekly, by the way. Then we got to talk about Cardi B admitting that her tour has gone $1 million over budget, millions of dollars over budget, and says she ain't no damn Beyonce. She can't be out here putting on these type of shows. She can't afford to be. Well, we'll get into that. Plus, Monica says she is the most forgotten R&B singer. We'll break down that clip that I have. Plus, on the homosexual side, we got to talk about the GLAAD Media Awards that dropped. And so who was nominated, all that good stuff. Also, we have some great news regarding the season premiere of Drag Race Season 18 in regards to the ratings. We'll get into that. Plus, the UK versus the World Season 3 cast drop. We'll break that down. And speaking of GLAAD Media Awards, Heated Rivalry is one of the nominations. Hudson Williams did an interview with Andy Cohen and basically talked about how there are some closeted pro athletes that have reached out to him about to share their stories regarding what they go through in the thing. And who knows, maybe they'll incorporate a lot of those things that those closeted athletes told him into the show, season 2. And then we got to talk about 911 showrunner. One of the showrunner is dividing fans because they feel like he's over here queerbaiting them with this whole Buddy storyline. Buck and Eddie, they've been trying to say, like, the fans have been shipping them for a long time. There has been that chemistry between them. And the writers and everybody who works behind the scenes is very much well aware of it. And the producer on the show seems like he likes playing in our face because I don't think he's ever going to put them together. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more. But before we get to those topics, if you could please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. Let's see who's in the room before we get to the tea. Um, you tried it. I thought Robert was over here talking about you're late. Well, I know that. Well, first of all, I did have the time at 5:45. Then I went and changed it to 6 because I was like, it was a lot going on. And plus, um, I was in the middle of eating my food because I was like, oh, I got 15 minutes. I could probably like scarf something down real quick and do the show. Then I noticed when my dog Prince, the one I told you that looks like Crypto, looked up at me. I noticed his right eye was looking like this. Like one eye was open, the other eye was looking like, I'm like, why is your eye looking like that? So I was investigating. It looked like he had coal up in the eye. So I was trying to clean it. I don't know if he got like some infection because he's the type of dog like when you take him for outside and let him go for a walk or whatever the case is, he gets into like that's why I call him Crypto, even though his name is Prince. He gets into everything. So I don't know. Maybe he has a bit of an eye infection. I'm gonna check it out. And if it gets worse, then I'm gonna have to take him to the doctor because I'm not gonna be walking around with no damn cyclops for a dog. So but we accept all people's ailments and disability. But I'm just saying, like, so that's why I was late. Nuh-uh, not just my rice, she late. What the fuck? I need my But I'm always it's funny how like with my regular job, I'll be like an hour, 2 hours late. I mean, on time. I'm never late for my regular job because it's a lot when you're trying to get into the MSG. That's why I'm always like making sure I'm there early and all this other stuff. But with this job, since I'm the boss, and a one-man band, I'd be like, shit, I'll show up late. Not that I do it on purpose. Always have a specific time that I want to be ready about stuff. But when you're trying to do everything, I gotta put pictures in the thing. I gotta find the video clips. I be doing so much stuff. And then even when I was about to go live, I totally forgot to grab that other Donnie McClurkin photo. So I had to look that up quick. Look, I've been trying to give y'all bells and whistles and things to go with the show. Even though I keep it simple with just me running my mouth and I don't want to have like all these crazy whooshy things going on. I want to make sure that I give y'all quality entertainment, even though it's straightforward and to the point. But I'm glad y'all are out here reading me on everything. Oh yeah, another thing. Since you said I'm feeling better, that was one of the reasons why. I remember I told y'all I was going to do a show yesterday, and I was going to write a little thing on YouTube, like, sorry guys, I'm not gonna. I was like, please, I'll just come on the live and tell y'all. Yesterday I woke up, I was feeling really weak. I was feeling tired. Sniffies, all this other stuff going on. I tell you, this weather keeps changing. And even today, it was kind of warm out. That's why I said New York City weather has just been fluctuating like crazy. So I was like, you know what? I don't have the energy to come online and do a show. And I want to be up in here like, hey, everybody, what's going on? It's Chris Avalon. But like, I wasn't giving y'all that. Like, I got to give you full 110% energy if I'm going to do something. So I was like, I'm going to call out and give you all a longer show today. That's why I gave it. I had to put a lot of stuff in here. Yeah, I am feeling better because yesterday I was a mess. Chad, you're not just gonna come up in here and acknowledge one person, sir. Um, he said, "Oh, it's okay to be late and check out." Mm-hmm. Listen, my dog is a mess. Anyway, without further ado, since people don't like their tea cold, they want it hot. Let's get directly into the show. Give me my banner. And let's get to our first topic, which is the Batman Part 2. So you already know well, you've already heard the news that Sebastian Stan they said in talks, but literally if he's in talks, all that has to be done, the contracts have to go through, I's dotted, T's crossed, he's got the job. So he is going to be starting alongside Scarlett Johansson. But people have been trying to speculate who could he possibly be playing. The only reason why I was like, I already know who he's playing. He's playing Harvey Dent because a thing went out. What was it? Jeff Snyder, shout out to him, he went and revealed that um, Scarlett Johansson was coming on board to play Gilda Gold, aka Gilda Dent, because that was his wife. And then the whole thing about the Long Halloween, all the other things where her character has been intercepted in many of the different Batman comics. So of course, with her being in there, then that means they're gonna have to have Harvey Dent in the film. Whereas they also were saying they were looking for somebody in their 60s and someone in their 40s to play Harvey and Harvey's father. I believe his father's name was Christopher. So that was the whole thing that was supposed to happen with that. Oh wait, hold on. I didn't even hit the comments thingy. Showing y'all what y'all putting up in here. Anyway, okay, back to the show. So um so yeah, there was that whole situation. There was a rumor that Brad Pitt was supposed to come in and play Christopher Dent, the father, who was an alcoholic and an abuser of Harvey. And if you read the comics. So there was supposed to be that thing. Then it turned out that Brad Pitt wasn't going to be a part of it. I don't even know how that rumor started, but he was supposed to come in and everything. And so now people, well, according to the reports and even comicbook.com, and even though I already said before that Jeff Snyder spilled the beans that the rumor, like with Scarlett Johansson playing Gilda, and they were looking for somebody in their 40s. Obviously, they were going to look for somebody to play Harvey Dent. And when I heard Sebastian Stan, I was like, could definitely look at him and be like, yeah, I could totally see him playing a Harvey Dent. So Earlier this week, as they said, New York news broke that Thunderbolt star Sebastian Stan is set to join the cast of the Batman Part 2, and now it looks like his role has now been confirmed. Shout out to Comic Book Movie for this story, by the way. When Stan's casting was announced, there was a lot of speculation that he'd be playing a new take on Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, and the actor stylist Michael Fisher has now shared some fan art depicting his client as the Dark Knight's hideously scarred, coin-flipping villain. Well, I do have those pictures because I got them courtesy of his social media, which I found kind of funny that everybody's like, "Oh no, he's not gonna be playing hard to get whatever." If there was rumors that was going on where somebody who's got a lot of the scoops, well, I'm not gonna say he's right all the time because nobody's ever right all the time. We all make mistakes. Even the major trades make mistakes on certain things what they come out with. So I'm not gonna windmill too hard on people like Jeff Snyder and stuff like that because he'll even admit that he doesn't always get it right all the time. Maybe, but he was dead set on the fact that she was coming in playing Gilda Gold, aka Gilda Dent. And with this coming out, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. So, but the stylist, his stylist coming out and putting these pictures online is like, should you have kind of revealed this, even though they ain't say it hasn't been confirmed yet? But let's entertain it. So they said Stan's fellow MCU alum Scarlett Johansson, as I said, is reportedly playing Gilda Dent, née Gold, who has her own villainous backstory in the comics. Gilda never actually takes the mantle of Two-Face herself, but there's a theory that Johansson's version of Gilda could take inspiration from Darcy Dent, an Elseworlds incarnation of the character. Reeves has previously dropped a few hints about the villainous Batman will be facing off in the movie, and saying, quote, because of what the first movie was and what the Batman Part 2 is, which is so much a detective story, the idea of trying to protect the secrets of the movie is super important because it's a mystery. That would be an extra level of heartbreak if that part of it started getting out. You want to keep the surprise so the fans can have the fun experience that I always love going to the movies, which was to go and be surprised. And one of the things and this is what he said in a recent interview. And to be honest, I agree with him on that because I hate going to the movies and already knowing everything about it. That's why I always go so hard on the fact that things that leak regarding Scream or whatever the case is, I always go opening night or yeah, opening night because I want to have that experience of going on the journey of sitting in the theater, paying attention to the story, trying to figure out things. And I was glad that nothing came out regarding the Batman, because I remember it came out around my roommate Devin's birthday. So I basically was like, let's go to the movies, whatever. And I treated him to go see the film and he loved it. But so when we went to go see the movie, I was like, I want to go on this journey of like trying to get into the detective side of Batman, which is the part of Batman I've always wanted to see on the big screen. I don't feel like we've ever gotten the detective side. So when we finally got that in the Matt Reeves world, and me trying to figure out the riddles and everything that was going on in there. And it was like, I liked going on that journey and trying to figure things out on my own. I don't like people trying to tell me things that's going on and spoon feeding me everything. One of the things I always hate about my roommate too, he wants to know the whole plot. He wants to know everything about the movie before he goes to see it. I'm like, what's the fun in that? Like, why do you want to know everything? Because some people just don't like the element of surprise or not being in the know about stuff. They want to know everything before they go in. I don't like stuff like that. I don't mind going on a journey, if especially if you're a great storyteller. So that's what I'm hoping with this. I hope nothing leaks out about this. I just want to know who everybody's playing, and that's that. As far as the story goes, I would like to go in and experience it the way it was intended. So hopefully it doesn't happen, but I know in the era of social media, it's really hard. So now, in addition to the Penguin star Colin Farrell and several others, presumably more than five people at this stage, Robert Pattinson has read the script, which was delivered to him in a highly secure envelope that required a separate code to open, and was said to be very happy with the story, which was seemingly take place the iconic DC Comics hero in a direction we have not seen before. Saying, quote, he's Batman, so if he doesn't like it, not good. So I was super excited, excuse me, because I thought that he would really like it because the things that it does for his character, for Batman and for Bruce Wayne, has never been done before in this way. And I had a feeling he would respond in this way. The fact that he did was incredibly encouraging. This is according to what Reeves said. Now, we got to wait until October 2027 for it to start shooting, but to hit theaters, I should say, but the filming for the Batman, when they actually go into production, is later this month. So that's why I'm like, with this whole thing about uh Sebastian Stan coming out, it's like, okay, he's already signed on. He's probably read the script, and they're about to go start shooting, I believe in London. But anyway, so before we get to the other thing, I do want to pull up those pictures that we were talking about over there on, hold on. The pictures that I saw over there on Twitter of his makeup artist showing us the Harvey Dent thing. So yeah, that's one of the pictures of what the fan made art that he posted on his social media. I was like, okay, that's cool. Me likey. This other one that I saw, I don't like this one this much. Then he posted this one. I was like, I don't like that one. That one looks weird. I don't like that, like the darkness of the face on the side. Like it looks like, yeah, it looks really bad. But this one, I was like, okay, that's a pretty cool one. I actually like the idea of that one, but we'll see how they make it all work when it comes to how a Harvey Dent in Matt Reeves' world will fit in, and that'll be relatively interesting. So yeah, so I definitely want to hear from you all. What do you guys think of this story regarding the Batman Part 2? The speculation that he is playing Harvey Dent. I mean, I'm sure that there's other people that's going to be trying to speculate. Oh, here's like 10 people that he could be possibly playing. I'm dead set on him playing Harvey Dent because I don't think like we've seen Two Face, we've seen Tommy Lee Jones play him, but of course that was more comical, very comic strippy and cheesy and corny. Then we saw Aaron Eckhart's version in The Dark Knight. But the problem with that I've had with Chris, and I know it's blasphemous to talk about Christopher Nolan, but the problem that I have with Christopher Nolan's Batman, and with the exception of The Dark Knight, because I feel like that is the best one out of his trilogy, he focused too much on Bruce Wayne more so than Batman. Whenever he was Batman, I felt like the fight choreography was slow as hell. And I hated that voice that Christian Bale was doing. That irritated me. And then he would focus more on the Harvey Dent side, and you got like 10 minutes of Two Face, but you got 90 minutes of Harvey Dent. So he would focus more on the realistic character than the superhero side. And you're making a superhero movie. So, and I understand that's probably like why we like it, that it's so grounded, and that's why we prefer Matt Reeves. But I feel like Matt Reeves has been able to take that world that Christopher Nolan created, where it was grounded in realism, and take it to a different level and make it feel like, oh, this could be a real world where real superheroes could exist without it having to fall more into what the DCU was about to be, which they have like Superman and people and Green Lantern and people with actual superpowers. So that's what I was thinking in regards to that. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your overall thoughts on this story in the comments down below. Like, where am I? Oh, you said the weather is like that in Colorado. Some days where I was there last time, some days it was in the 70s or 80s, and then go down to, yeah, I wonder if it got to do with climate change. You said, I figured it would be on the docket. Any thoughts on Robin being accused of copying FKA Twigs and Earth Eater on her session? I didn't hear about that. Um, well, I'll give my thoughts on the sex essential song. I'm not necessarily 100% on board with it yet. I haven't really, yeah. And I think what's turning, I mean, when I would listen to the song, because I listened to it on YouTube, like on my television or whatever, because they released, what was it like? Was it the video? Oh, no, Talk to Me was the video. There was what do you call it? One of those the visualizer. I think the song's okay. Like, I like when Robin does her rap thing. Like don't effing tell me what to do and all those other songs. Like I like, and then Cobra Style, and when she's done like rap songs like that, that was cool. Sex Essential, I like the title. I like the production. I don't necessarily know if I'm feeling the song yet as a grown on me. Talk to Me is cute because I guess it's more signature Robin. I didn't hear the whole thing about her copying FKA Twigs and Earth Eater on the artwork because I gotta look at it. What does it look like? Hold on. So a picture of her showing her like covering her titties that was given. You want to know something? No shade, but with her in the picture of her covering her boobs or whatever, you know who she reminded me of? It didn't remind me of Earth Eater or FKA Twigs. I was thinking Peaches. Like that's what I was really thinking of when I first saw that picture. I wasn't even thinking about any of her in that way. But I'm looking for wait, hold on. I'm like, was there even a story written around that? Yeah, because I'm not seeing anybody talking about the comparisons. Maybe well, I guess I've been out of the loop. But no, I was thinking Peaches, but when it came to that. Like you said, this time of year, Colorado was snowy. I would think. I was there in the summer of 2015 for my high school reunion, and it would be some hot days and cool out in others. Is it frozen? I don't know, but sometimes you want to know something? YouTube has been acting a little weird lately because I noticed when I've been going back and record, like trying to do the recordings or whatever to edit the shorts for my for the channel, whatever, like separate topics or whatever. I was noticing it would freeze. You know who also I was noticing? I was watching other YouTubers and they were having the same issue. So I think there was something going on with the buffering of YouTube as of late because it wasn't just me. I thought it was just I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Then I will watch other YouTube videos and I'm like, okay, why is their stuff lagging too? So I don't know what's going on. He said I was there. I said, okay. This sounds looks like bad AI. Well, the first wasn't bad. The second one did look like bad artificial. I mean, like AI. Okay, so the screenshots isn't slow, but your main camera freezes from time to time. Yeah, it's like whenever I would put a picture or whatever up, the main camera would be moving regular, and then if I have it like this, um, it would it would be freezing up because I was noticing that too. I might. Like you said, sound like James is taking people from Marvel shows actors want completed scripts. Well, I don't think James Gunn is intentionally taking people from Marvel. Here's the thing. It seems like every actor under the sun has been in a superhero movie at this point. So it's kind of hard to cast people and just be like, oh well, could you find an actor that's never done a superhero movie and put him in it? It's kind of hard. So it just so happens like when you look at somebody like Scarlett Johansson or Sebastian Stan, then it's they're good. They fit with the part that they're looking for. And I think look. I would not only want to be beholden to one studio. Those days are over. Well, at least I hope they are. Because I love Sex Essential and Talk to Me more than Dopamine. Yeah, Dopamine is like a first song. Like what do you call it? Kind of like what I said about Gaga and Disease. Disease is a song that pretty much sets the mood for the album. It's not necessarily like, oh my god, it's this breakout single. Because I liked the song when I first heard it. It's the song that set the mood to let you know where we're the journey I'm about to take you on with this record. Same thing with dopamine. Dopamine, I feel like it just sets the mood for the record of letting us know what it is. I mean, I know she did only 9 tracks for the record, and I know some people Felix is upset about it. Hope it's longer than the last album, honey. Well, or as I like to say, Henny. But look, I'd rather quality than quantity. I mean, I wouldn't mind a 15-track album or maybe like another EP, couple like how what's her name? Agnes did. I told you Agnes put out a 4-track EP at the top of January and has an album coming out at the end of January. So if she would do something like that, I'm here for it. I like the ad. I felt like she should have dropped the ad around the same time as the song, but I waited. I literally didn't see the ad until today. I was like, "Who cheeks is this in this video? You see this old man butt up in the video in the ad? Madonna looks good, a little filtered to the T, filtered for the gods, but she looks good in the video." I was like, I hope to be that fabulous looking when I get older. Money well spent. The body was right. The hair was blonde and flowing in the wind. The song, I was like, I get it. It's for the ad. So I'm not I'm not gonna windmill on it too bad. I heard somebody say it was horrible. But I'm like, it's a cover of someone else's song. I understand what it's for. It's for the ad, so it fits for what she's doing with the ad. It's not a song that I'm gonna put on and be like, oh yes, I'll pop. Like I'm gonna be listening to it like crazy. Like, no. I will start going in and judging Madonna's era once she releases the first single, which word on the curb is gonna be around the Super Bowl. So that's like at the top of February. It's a vibe. It's a good song, and she performed "Sex Essential" last night on what was it? One of them talk shows. Was it Colbert or the other one? I forgot. It was on one of them damn shows. Have you watched the new episode of The Traitors? Didn't that come out today or yesterday? I haven't seen it. I do want to see. I'm thinking I do want to watch that the after show too with Boston Rob and Bob the drag queen. That might be an interesting podcast to listen to. You know, I can't stand Michael Rappaport, but I'm gonna sit through it because Monet is on there and um Johnny Weir. You know, they got all the gays up on that show, so I might watch for that reason. I miss non-track albums. I can only think of Sophie as a modern artist. And you know what? It's like 9 tracks, 10 tracks. It's not bad. Because if she decides to tour, which I hope she does, because girl, you need to make some money. Um, especially if you're an independent artist. She should do a tour, and she's got a lot of songs. She can perform this new album. She's got songs from the Body Talk era. She's got like Honey, so many records. Some people say Madonna looks like she did in the back. Yeah, that was definitely giving bad girl vibes, especially the way the hair was looking. You said there are lingerings and rumors that Robin is re-recording "Blow My Mind." Wait, why is she re-recording it? What happened? Don't she own the masters? So you ain't got to be out here doing Taylor Swift. You don't need to be re-recording your records. Okay, it was Colbert, so I was correct because Robin's been spending a lot of time in New York, particularly Brooklyn. So shout out to her. If you really want to be in the epicenter of creativity, it used to be Manhattan. It used to be like the East Side and all this stuff. No, now it's Brooklyn. All the creatives is out in Brooklyn. Child, if I can muster enough of the coins, I might want to move back to Brooklyn. I kind of miss Brooklyn because I lived in Bushwick before I moved to Harlem, and I was like, I lived for. First of all, the trade was trading, so I was having lots of sex, and it was the bars and the clubs and stuff was a lot more fun. And then I saw this TikTok video, this kid that was talking about Esquilita. And I was like, you're not gonna take me back to that time because Escos was lit. That was like one of the big mega urban clubs in New York. It was on 38th and 8th, I believe. It was like right up the block from White Castle, because right after we would have them drinks and get lit, we would go directly to the White Castle, eat the murder burgers. Oh, is it? Wait, you said she was re-recording. What happened with it? Is it if she wasn't happy with the production? Oh no, because I don't. I look. She just revealed the track list yesterday, so I'm not even used to memorizing what the track list is. That's all. You said I only want to watch the trailers for Johnny and Monet and see what Lisa. Oh yeah, forgot Lisa Rinna's on there. But Michael Rappaport, I could care less about him. But they'll probably keep his stank ass around because he's such a dick that he make good TV. So they'll probably just keep him around for that. But anyway, keep the comments coming as we get into topic number 2, which is this Paramount Skydance thing. I just wish at this point that y'all were over there, you Zionists over there at Paramount Skydance would get the goddamn hint and just stop trying to make fetch happen because y'all are not getting y'all hands. What y'all gonna do is get your hands over there on the net. I was gonna say on the Netflix on Warner Brothers Discovery. They want Netflix, so I don't know why y'all still trying to come in here and get it. And now they still because here's the thing. I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit yet again for like the 800th time. They had a deal. They put up a bid, and Warner Brothers was like, "No, it's not good enough." So Paramount Skydance, David Ellison is still trying to make fetch happen by acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery. And by telling the shareholders that it's the better suitor after WBD's board again rejected its latest takeover offer this week. In an announcement on Thursday, Paramount noted that Warner Brothers Discovery's decision not to engage on Paramount's $30 per share, fully financed all cash offer to acquire all of WBD. On Wednesday, WBD's board formally rejected Paramount's latest offer, telling shareholders it recommended the $83 billion sale of Warner Brothers Studio and HBO Max to Netflix, saying, quote, throughout this process, Paramount has diligently and constructively addressed each concern raised by WBD, said Paramount Skydance, which was formed by the takeover of Paramount Global by David Ellison Skydance Media. Paramount Global did not signal any plans to raise its per share offer for Warner Brothers Discovery higher than $30. Well, I'm glad. Keep it there because y'all don't have a rat chance in hell of getting it. They're not interested in selling to you, probably because they see what the hell y'all are over there doing with Paramount since you've acquired it. Maybe by what, almost 6 months ago, you ran the damn thing into the ground. You have yet to conjure a hit over there at Paramount. Name one movie that came out last year from Paramount that did well. I'll wait, and you can't even say Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning because they ain't make their money back. So that was a flop. And you got all these shows over there where Taylor Sheridan already done Jump Ship, and he's over there at NBC Universal. I don't know if he went over there yet, but I know he's still got the deal where that contract's going to run out, and then he's going to go over there with NBC Universal and do his thing. So y'all don't really have nobody over there, but I did remember hearing y'all acquire the Duffer Brothers. First of all, y'all can have them because that last season was trash of Stranger Things. So you can have the Duffer Brothers because they gave us some half-ass mess, and then y'all thought that, oh yeah, we was gonna eat it up. But now that the dust is settled, everybody realized, oh no, that last season was trash. And even y'all, and this is how I know that y'all know that that shit was trash because y'all have not accepted the fact that that episode that y'all saw, that finale was the finale. A lot of people are running around here thinking, oh no, this is a secret episode. No, the secret episode is the damn documentary where they did the behind the scenes of the whole season. That's the extra episode. Y'all not getting another finale. Why would we spend all this money? First of all, I don't understand why Netflix would spend $400 million to have them do an 8 episode finale, and that's what they cooked y'all up for. It's kind of giving that guy that just got sentenced to prison, and I didn't bring this story up where they gave him money to make this movie. He basically just took the money and ran. Yeah, that's what happened with Netflix. This man took the money. They gave him to make a movie. He went and started buying all kinds of stuff with it. Then they came and got his ass, and then he wound up going to jail. So that's what y'all just be throwing money away and no script, no nothing. And I don't even think the Duffer Brothers even knew how to wrap this up because there was so many issues with continuity and also I know I'm going on a tangent because I was saying that they got the Duffer Brothers over there at Paramount Skydance. And then y'all got all the drama that y'all dealing with where the father, Larry, owns TikTok, and now they doing his TikTok campaign with Paramount with the little monkey movie that came out tonight, Primate, where they said they're gonna be doing a deal with the marketing in regards of that. And it's like, okay, we see what y'all doing because now that we got a Zionist owning TikTok, good luck trying to get anything regarding this administration out there into the world, you know, without people getting all upset and talking about, well, we have to get control of the media because people are all spreading false information. No, you're mad because stuff is getting out there and you don't want the truth to get out. So to get back to this story, they said that according to Paramount in its December 22nd amended proposal and subsequent filings, the company cured every issue raised by WBD on December 17th, most notably by providing an irrevocable personal guarantee by Larry Ellison for the equity portion of the financing. Nevertheless, WBD continues to raise issues with Paramount's offer that we have already addressed, including flexibility in interim operations. Because how y'all going to sit up here and guarantee there was going to be equity in portion of the financing when y'all what wasn't it not that long ago that y'all had to run over there to Saudi Arabia and get some money from them to kind of jump in the situation, and Jared Kushner was involved, and it was like, no. Now I'm hearing news because unfortunately we're getting a movie nobody asked for except Donald damn Trump. That was Rush Hour 4, and I guess that's a vanity project for oh my god, what's the director's Brett Ratner, because he directed those movies. And, he did Melania's $40 million documentary that nobody asked for, and it's going to flop at the box office as well. Um, so he directed that, and I guess he's going to be directing this movie. And they talking about that they're going to be shooting over there in Saudi Arabia. So y'all don't think we see what y'all doing? And don't even get me started on CBS News and the propaganda y'all spewing over there. And that new reporter they got over there that apparently can't read a goddamn teleprompter because, we're going to this. Oh, wait, no, we're going to this. And then it's like, what? What kind of professionalism y'all got going over there? Walter Cronkite is rolling in his grave as we speak over which the shenanigans and the mess that y'all creating over there at CBS News. Rolling in his grave. If Leslie Stahl was dead, she'd be rolling too, but she's not. Because she's from what's that show? 60 Minutes. So all the legends that was over there part of CBS and 60 Minutes, they are looking at this like, what the hell are y'all doing to news? News is dead. Real news is dead. The only way y'all get that now is on social media. Those are the people that have like the responsibility to give y'all the real information. So, Paramount argued that the Netflix deal contains multiple uncertain components that already decrease in total value. When announced in December, the Netflix transaction offered WBD shareholders $23.25 in cash, $4.50 in Netflix stock, and $4.50, I should say, and a share in the pending spinoff of Discovery Global. Today, Netflix stock price is trading well beneath the low end of its collar, reducing the value offered to WBD shareholders. In addition, according to Paramount, while the WBD board has not disclosed any analysis to help its shareholders value their potential ongoing ownership of the linear stub, Versant Media, its closest comparable, debuted shares this week, and its performance to date illustrates the challenge path ahead of Discovery Global, according to Paramount analysis. The total value of the Netflix transaction to WBD shareholders currently is $27.42 a share, given the decline in Netflix space price since the deal was announced, implying the shares in the proposed Discovery Global spinoff are nonetheless under the Netflix deal. Well, look, I know a lot of people are upset because they think, and look, even the movie theater companies are like, we're against this whole merger of Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm like, for what? Y'all think it's going to kill the movies? First of all, y'all killing yourselves the way y'all treat a lot of the people that are supposed to be moviegoers anyway. Why do people go to the movie theater? Tickets is too goddamn expensive, except now I have A-list, so I just pay $27 a month. Not a lot of people, especially when you got kids or whatever, a lot of people can't afford to be taking them, multitude of people, a significant other, kids, whatever, to the movies to go see everything. Then you got movies in the theater for like a month and a half before you take it out. So what's the point? I could just wait a month and then watch it at home for $30. I could rent it for 20, rent it for 20, buy it for 30. That's the price now. Because they just released Predator Badlands and I looked at the price yesterday and it's $30 if you want to purchase it, $20 if you want to rent it. So you could go at home, you could rent the movie for $20, you could invite your friends over and all this other stuff and have them all set up in your house with your reclining chairs and your surround sound and your 72-inch TV and enjoy it that way. Because a lot of time when y'all be pulling these IMAX things, which I didn't even realize people was calling IMAX Limax, because some of these IMAX screens be looking a little janky. They be looking a little crunchy. It's like y'all need to spend a little extra money to make this thing look good. Because some of them IMAX screens, I be looking like, really? I don't know if y'all need to wipe the screen or whatever the case, but it's not giving me my money's worth. And a lot of times I feel like people go to the movies and they're not getting their money's worth. You got to deal with people in there on their phone. You got to deal with people talking loud and stuff like that. Luckily, I've been having those experiences because I go early in the morning when a lot of y'all are at work and at school. So I schedule my stuff to not be around so many damn people. But I can understand when you're trying to watch a movie and it's a packed theater and people being freaking annoying. So people would rather stay home. So unless it's a big event situation. And then I saw this video. I was like, should I pull this up? With Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. And this is from this morning when he was talking about this. And he was talking about the movie going experience. And I know a lot of people was out here panicking. Hold on, because I said, yeah, let me pull this up so y'all can see this video. Because I was like, oh yeah, let me share this. It goes perfectly with the situation. Because everybody's out here, these theater people, they freaking out. And I'm sitting there like, what y'all freaking out for? Things are changing. Y'all got to catch up. Hold on.
There's nothing like going to the cinema. There's nothing like people gathering in the same time and space and sharing a story together. It's a big part of what makes us human, I believe. And hopefully, I hope against hope that will keep happening. The truth is, I don't think that any one company has the power to make that happen or not make that happen. And we were talking about regulation earlier. I don't think there should be a law saying that people have to watch movies in cinema. Ultimately, this is going to be a decision for people. Like, if people keep going to movies, then the movie theaters will stay open. And if people stop going to movies, then they won't. And that's really just a kind of a cultural choice that we all have to make. And if it's been a while since you've been to a movie out at night or in the day, you know, with other people who you don't know, and you can feel them there. There's something about that social experience, and like I said, there's nothing like it. So go out to the movie.
So is your movie for Netflix going to run in theaters?
I hope so. I don't think they decide that.
Did you talk to them about that? Did you say, I'm not going to make this unless you put
I think they decide that later in the process. They'll see. Yeah. That's I don't know what they're gonna do.
And I think with him saying that is like, you know what, as an actor, he's just there to do what the job requires. And everybody, yeah, it's like these days we have way more options. When we were growing up, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, we're all from the same age range. So when we were all growing up, it was like we didn't have many options of how to see movies. It was either you went to the movies or you waited 6 months to a year to catch it on VHS. Things have evolved in so many ways over the years in different manifestations. When we had VHS, then we went to DVD, then we went to digital. And I don't know what the next thing is going to be after this. I mean, somebody's got to come up with it. Hopefully it won't be no damn Elon Musk. Well, we know he steals people's ideas. He don't never come up with shit. But y'all call him a damn genius. So there's so many ways that we enjoy and take movies and go see movies and all this other stuff. And I just think that people keep, well, yeah, I need to go to the movies. They're gonna kill the movie going experience. I'm like, have y'all been to the movies lately? There have been many a times I go to the movies, it's like 3 or 4 people in there, and it's a big damn theater. So y'all talking about the movie experience is dying. That ain't got nothing to do with, we're not gonna blame it on Netflix. You can't blame it on the fact that digital is the future. It's changing because people are, especially post-COVID, people are sick and tired of just like, I just think when we all was staying home, we were getting so many things, people found the value in not overworking and killing themselves for, to sit and go to the movies and stuff. People are like, you know what? I could just wait for it to come out at home and enjoy it that way. So Hollywood got to stop being greedy and thinking that they're going to just get all the money they was getting back in the day, figure out how to budget their films, figure out how to work within the current environment that we're in, because the way that things were back in the day no longer exists. You got to evolve with the times. And the problem I've always noticed with the entertainment industry, y'all always be lagging behind on trying to, play catch up with the rest of the world and what's going on with that. So I don't feel no way tired about the fact that, yes, I don't mind if Netflix gets this deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. I don't want Paramount to get it, because we see what they're doing with what Skydance is doing with Paramount. I don't give a good goddamn if David Ellison is a movie fan. Okay, there's a lot of people out here that are movie fans, but you don't see movie fans going around and trying to indoctrinate their political ideologies into a lot of the movies that they're making. If you want to do something specifically for that with a studio, then you go ahead and do that. But you're not going to try to monopolize all the studios so that way we all be of sound mind and thinking like how a lot of these crazy ass psychotic oligarchs or MAGA type people think. Not all of us want to be indoctrinated by that in our films. We want to see diverse ideas. We want to see different stories. We want, the Ellison's going by Warner Brothers Discovery. We won't get another movie like Companion or Final Destination Bloodlines, which took a different take on the Final Destination franchise, or Sinners, or things of that nature. And don't even get me started on this racist, low-key racist shit that's going on between Marty Supreme and Sinners, and the fact of how y'all propping up Timothy Bony-ass Chalamet over Michael B. Jordan. Because y'all getting me pissed off with that I've been noticing a lot of this stuff going on with the industry, how y'all playing in our face with that. Because ain't no way in hell Marty Supreme is a better movie than Sinners. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding this cyclical situation regarding Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount not getting the hint that at this point, Warner Brothers is not trying to sell to y'all. I don't care which way you try to sell. I mean, that's what I'm getting from it. This point. Like they're not interested. They don't want you to acquire it because they probably see what y'all over there doing with Paramount and all the propaganda and the cuck and the moron in the White House. Because he got bigger fish to fry. He got to figure out how he's gonna get around this whole ICE assassinating an innocent woman in cold blood and making excuses for it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, I was like, let me make sure I got all that closed before we move on to the next thing. Let's see what the people saying in the comments. Oh yeah, I did see that one. Oh, you said not the trade was trading. No, they was the trade. You said, Lord have mercy, I would catch a private jet. But so, wait, they don't have White Castles where y'all at? I know there's not many of them left. You said Robin has a tradition of re-recording her songs a lot and including them in official albums. Hang With Me, Indestructible, and Should Have Known from Body Talk and Possibly Blow My Mind from. So that's always crazy that she always re-recording her stuff. And you said, and you also have David Harbour leaving projects. He says he's tired, but maybe he is tired. But I'm not big. I'm not big on David Harbour. Walter Cronkite is rolling in his grave. You said I agree with everything he said, but I always want the option to get out of the house and see movies in the theater. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some movies I'll look at them like, nah, I'll wait for digital. Like, I do want to see that zombie movie with Daisy Ridley, but then I heard it's boring. So I was like, I'll wait for DVD. I'll wait for it to come out on streaming and I'll catch it that way. I am gonna go see Primate tomorrow. So I'll let y'all know how that is because I've been hearing rave reviews about it. Um yeah, I haven't really heard any mixed reviews, but I was like, yeah, I'll go and see that. That'll be my first movie of the year. The last movie I saw in December was Silent Night, Deadly Night remake, which I'm waiting for that to come out on streaming or digital. But yeah, the original, I mean, but so probably be the first movie of January that I'm seeing. Then I know they got the new damn, what the hell is that movie? 28 Years Later. That's supposed to be coming out next week. So I'm looking forward to that too. January is going to be a good month in regards of for horror films. Timothy gets spanked and Marty Super. And it's another thing. And to me, it's just like, oh, they're making a big deal. Um, Timothy Chalamet refused a body double, so he gets spanked. I mean, you think I want to go and spend money to go see some flat pancakes on some damn screen getting spanked? Child, I don't give a damn. If he can be the youngest best actor winner, I guess he can try to be the second youngest. I was gonna say, oh yeah, because didn't Anna Paquin win an Oscar for the piano? And she was like the youngest? Oh, you in Miami. Oh yeah, I don't think they're gonna have a White Castle out there. I had I did a Hard Rock. I don't even know if I told her that. I worked at Hard Rock Cafe in New York City in Times Square. I worked there a day and quit. I was like, retail is not for me. Yes, there is a saying, they've been making a big deal out of it, is that he gets spanked and then he refused the body double. And so I was like, okay, what do you want, a fucking cookie? I can't believe like we're still in this situation where we where nudity and sex and stuff is still like, oh my god, let's get all so about it. It's like, what are we, two? Like, it's 2026. People need to grow up. Stop being so goddamn conservative when it comes to sex. You said it's gonna be exclusive to Screenbox, so just buy it. Well, I am gonna buy it because the one thing that annoys me about Screenbox, I was trying to find a way to unsubscribe to it, but they don't give you no thing on the website where you can unsubscribe from the channel. Because I'm like, I don't want to be paying for this. First of all the movies on there are terrible. So why am I spending money on this? And it was a yearly subscription. So one of the things I did do is that when my last card from my bank, which I'll be reading me because I'm part of Wells Fargo, and y'all already know the tea with that and Wendy Williams. But I was like, I ain't go through what she went through, so I'm good. So over there. So with my bank card getting somebody going in and getting in, having access and taking money out, I'm noticing I'm having to get on the phone and them have them send me the money back and all that mess, and I had to wait to get the card to come in the mail and stuff. I was like, when it comes out, I'm not changing the coin situation on there. I'm gonna just let it lax, it be done. And I'm not gonna resubscribe because I will go on that channel. I'm like, these movies are like, how do you have a whole streaming service and nothing on there is good? They got some of the worst movies up on it. I was like, no, I will watch Tubi before I watch some damn Screambox. Hollywood is forced to deal with Kyle. Mm. I hope he gets punished for who the love of his life is. And it's not nut charity. Look, if you want to be out here dating the younger version of Amanda Lepore, be my guest. Child, now speaking of that, okay, now let's get into the mess. Let's talk about Auntie Donnie McClurkin, as we called them yesterday. Well, the day before, because I didn't do a show yesterday. So y'all already heard the tea and everything that I broke it on down with the whole Donnie McClurkin thing. I'm not gonna go on this whole situation about these hypocrites that's behind the scenes in the church that sit up here and talk homophobic bullshit, but y'all be the ones, you ladies, be getting y'all labias licked by somebody of the same gender, and you men be up in here doing homosexual things with other men up in the church. You got to be a part of the elite. You got to be a part of the club in order to be able to get up in that stuff. So, and Donnie McClurkin out here trying to fool everybody, talking about he heterosexual. In what multiverse, sir? Because you ain't fooling nobody. I mean, you may be fooling some of them constituents up in your church, but you ain't fooling the rest of us. Those of us who got them they live shades on, because we see you for who you are, Miss Mama. So the Grammy-winning gospel singing pastor has addressed the allegations that have come out about him. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. I have a whole segment that I did on it. It's like 45 minutes. If y'all gonna sit through all, because when it comes to this stuff, we gotta get into some things. We gotta really break it down. I'm not giving y'all no 2-second cliff note trailer size version of what's going on. And I'm talking about trailer as in like one of the movie trailers. Like, you're not gonna get a minute and a half. You can't squeeze all that up in there. If we're gonna get into the stuff, we gotta break it on down. So if you want to see that video, you can go over to the channel and you can watch that if you haven't seen it. But he has addressed the allegations against them, calling them contrived and untrue. Now, according to a civil lawsuit filed in New York, McSlurpin is accused of S-ing his former personal assistant, Giuseppe Corletto, over several years, starting after they met in 2003, when Corletto sought guidance on his sexuality and faith. The complaint alleges the abuse occurred during so-called Pray the Gay Away spiritual sessions. And here's the thing, I gagged, because I was watching somebody's show, Lord forgive me, I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Sabby Sabs or if it was Keith Edwards or one of them shows. But they spilled some tea and said that Mr. Corletto is good friends with Candace Owens. I was like, say what now? Because he was up in there talking. There was some tweets that he had posted going in on Eric Kirk, talking about how it seemed like she out here grifting on the behalf of her husband and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, the tweets is out there. All of a sudden, people started to, oh wait, it might have been Make It Make Sense that brought this tea up. So it was somebody. I can't remember who. Forgive me. But I do have his post. So let's get into it. Shout out to the Shade Room for this, for screen grabbing this. I'm gonna try my best to read through this without giggling, side commenting, and rolling my eyes to the point where I'm gonna be cross-eyed. But let's get through it. With all humility, faith, and deep respect for Christ and this global gospel music and ministry community, which has shaped my life, my calling, and my character, I address this letter. Many of you are aware of the profane allegations of sexual assault, R word, and coercion that have been recently dodged against me or lodged against me. I want to state clearly that unequivocally, maybe I should say it like a pastor, that these allegations are contrived and untrue. And he said, I understand the weight of such false claims, especially in our community rooted in faith, trust, and the teachings of Jesus Christ. And sexual violence in any form is a real and painful reality for many and not to be used frivolously. True survivors deserve to be heard, protected, and supported. At the same time, the truth matters and the truth has not been told. Well, and this is what he said through his attorney, Gregory S. Lisi, Esquire. So you're saying all the right things in this post. However, do I believe it? No, I don't. Because some of the many of things I heard about Miss McClurkin, and I told y'all that, and it was funny because I was telling y'all this whole story, and I ain't seen Funky Dineva's show. And he ended up literally word for word. I'm not saying he copying off of me, whatever, but he said the same, like in so many words, the same things that I was telling y'all. I'm like, you want to know something? See, it gets around. When it comes to the gays, we all talk. And there was a party that I went to with a ex friend of mine, because I don't fuck with him no more. He can rot in hell for all I care. But his ex at the time, Marvin, I remember going to his house, and it was a house party, drinking, having a good old time. A lot of church queens was up in there. And it was like we broke night. And child, we was up in there, and the conversation came around Donnie McClurkin and all the legendary stuff that be going on in them churches with them queens that be sitting up in there, on the pulpit talking all they mess. When behind the scenes they be doing that yum yum bouncy bouncy and the slurpy slurpy. And I be telling you, I was like, yeah. We know all the things. We know the people that know how to get in them rooms and do the things with them people that be sitting up in there condemning homosexuality, but they be the first ones with their feet up to the moon. Trust and believe. We trying to tell y'all. But y'all be thinking, oh, y'all just hating. Y'all just did. No. And my thing is, I'm not out here to just be exposing people's sexuality and all that other stuff. I expose hypocrites. Because I be like, you come out in your own time. But if you're going to be out here condemning people, telling people they're going to hell and all this other mess, or spewing all kinds of propaganda, Lady G, as in Lindsey Graham, and all you other ones, we going out your ass. So I'm not buying this post. McSlurpin is full of shit, but they're gonna have to prove this in court. Now, I was also hearing people with discourses talking about how they believe, especially with a lot of these, from Donnie McClurkin to Tyler Perry, and I mean, I don't even know if we can lump Will Smith in this yet. Will Smith's one that requires a lot of investigating going on that, because I am still relatively confused what's going on with that case. But with the Tyler Perrys and the Donnie McClurkins, there's a lot of people out here who believe, like regular people and YouTubers, who I have noticed have been saying that they feel that a lot of these people that's out here crying abuse was with the shits until the money stopped rolling in, and then they stopped being spoiled, or maybe they aged out, or whatever the case was, and they done moved on to the next bussy or whatever. And so now y'all want to come out and talk about how you was abused, how you was SA'd. And if there's and now if there's some truth to that, there might be. Because let me tell you, when I was young, I was pursuing older men. Because when you young and you horny and you trying to and you feel like older men know what to do, they're more experienced. So I want to learn all the things. And so, yeah, when I was young, child trust, I was carrying when I was young. I'm not excusing the behavior, because as a grown ass man, you should know better. You should know to not be willingly pursuing, because I did have older men pursuing me. And then B, even if I was pursuing people, they should know better. Be like, nah, I can't be out here trying to fuck on no kid or whatever. But they know, like, when you young and you fertile and you got a lot of energy, them grown ass is gonna, get up in that. And so maybe there is some truth to that with, Derek Dixon and Mario, that they were, wanting to be taken care of like a woman. And once the Tyler Perry decided, I don't want to be out here supporting you hoes no more, even though he did in the beginning when he was trying to get in them cookies. He was like, oh, I'll take care of you forever and ever. And then when forever and ever ended, because forever and ever mean ever, forever, ever, ever, as my boy from Outkast would say, then there's all of a sudden you want out here crying great. I don't know if that happened. That's something you gotta have to prove that on both sides, but somebody T gonna come out. And Donnie McClurkin, look, if you was willing to just be out here and live your life and stop trying to be fake and perpetuate an image of yourself that is not who you are, then we wouldn't be in this situation, because you can't pray the gay away. You can't sit up here and tell me you're not a homosexual, because trust and believe that is not a disease that you can cure. It is a part of who you are. It's in your DNA. It's in your blood. It's embedded in who you are. You're gonna find a way to suck a dick. And I know I'm probably being graphic. I don't give a good goddamn. But eventually, and the same thing with you women, you're gonna be slurping on that clam eventually. That seafood you claiming you allergic to, or you're gonna be up and eating them old crab legs and slurping on that clam. Same thing with you men. You're gonna find a way to buy them knee pads and get up in there and start sucking on that Nathan's hot dog. So deny all you want. Perpetuate and feed these people this lie all you want. You can lie to the world. You can't lie to yourself. So we're gonna have to just see how this play out. It was cute or whatever that you was able to put this out here, but ain't nobody buying it. Now hold on, because I want to see what the people are saying in the comments. Um on the Jasmine brand. Because this way I got like their screenshot and everything from. So one person said, fix it, Jesus. Another one said, God loves you whether you in the closet or not. What he doesn't love is how you are acting because you can't decide to stay in or come out. Well, if it was up to him, he never would come out of the closet. But if you out here doing fuck shit, you can't be surprised that eventually you're going to be trying to fulfill that need that you trying to bury so deep within yourself. Child, nobody in these comments sidebar is believing anything that Miss McClurkin that Auntie is saying. Now, hey Auntie, that's what I was thinking about with Michael B. Jordan. Remember when he said that to Queen Ramonda? Hey Auntie, that's what this is giving. Now, another person, and these are all women in these comments too. One person said, just come out. Another person said, Lord have mercy. Another person said, I know Dio passes, but okay, Donnie. Another person, I'm not understanding why so many harsh comments. Somebody make an allegation and everybody hop on. Okay, girl. Now, there's always got to be one dumb bitch in the comments. It's about somebody make an allegation. Everybody hop on the bandwagon. And we don't know if it's true or not. Okay, sis. Now, you can believe them delusions are grander if you want, but child, we know a faggot when we see one. Now, now this is a read. Hold on. Now, somebody said, now, Donatella Marie McClurkin. If you don't stop playing with us on this internet, he wrote a whole Aaliyah 4-page letter and sealed it with some lies. Okay, we just gonna have to end it there because that was just a cackle, the cackle of all cackles. So yeah, so that's basically what we have right now in regards to this whole situation. But we will keep you abreast of this mess as it develops. So I say all this to say to you, what do y'all think of this story? Are you buying what do you call her? Donatella Marie. Well, Donatella Marie McClurkin is out here spewing. Whatever your thoughts are on this foolishness, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Well, I guess nobody in the comments had anything to say up in this one. So let's move on. Oh, wait, I gotta close that out. So let me make sure I got everything out. All right, let's move on, y'all. And let's talk about Kevin McCall, speaking of homosexuals in the closet. Because apparently now this Butch Queen is out here trying to out Chris Brown and saying that Chris Brown is a member of the Levitical community, which no shade, I'm not believing it. I do not think Chris Brown is a part of our community, but go off, niece. So Kevin McCall took to his Instagram, probably snot nose and all, to let the world know exactly how he feels about his former collaborator, Chris Brown. Let's just say he didn't leave a single stone unturned. Now, in a post that has since been deleted from his page, but I have it, McCall went on an explosive rant coming for Breezy's reputation and claiming to have a vault full of industry secrets that would leave everyone shocked. Kevin started by attacking Breezy directly and questioning his image. Hold on, because let me pull it up for y'all. So that way we can get into the mess. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we have shout out to Hollywood a lot, by the way. So yeah, this is this old messy Ebonics written post. Now bear with me because you know when I'm hooked on phonics and these other motherfuckers aren't, you got to try to decipher what these people be saying because he's speaking hieroglyphics, at good hieroglyphics at this point, saying at Chris Brown, you a real hashtag effeminate bro. I'm tired of the passive gay vibes. I'm gonna start airing Nooka's homoerotic. First of all, homoerotic is one word. Thug and tranny stories every day until I run out of stories. Why you think I was hanging around girls with dirt and videos of all you industry Nookas sucking on fucking in things? Haha, I saw it. So I know we got some tension, brother, but I like pussy, bro. And you can keep putting fake asses with two S's, not one, hits on me. Is that a question or just a regular statement? Just put, and you can put, you can keep putting fake ass hits on me. Period. That's feminine. Feminine. But he put Femin, like Diddy, not macho like Tupac. How the fuck you know Tupac not macho? You wasn't even old enough to even know about Tupac before he was pow pow. So what you even throwing Tupac in the shit for? Then he said, feminine like Diddy, not macho like Tupac. Me and you are not the same, but play that game. It worked both ways like your sexuality. So was he gay or bisexual? Because now you got him bisexual. How you got him gay in the first part of the sentence, and now he go both ways? Play ball if you want. God gonna do you like your two buddies that tried to fight me. One is gone and one can't walk. Don't miss my point. God's karma comes swift for his children. I'm not going to do anything. God is going to ruin whoever tried to ruin a child of God. Well, you say all, and then it's about God didn't tell me this part, but it's sad when light skinned people try to treat dark skinned people like field nickels. The buck ends here. Okay, so now we blame we pulling the colorism card. You first of all, we still mad over the fact that you took my Chris Brown owe you $25,000 and he ain't paid you back. But you the same one talking about that God got you covered, God telling you things. Well, when God gonna tell you get up off your ass and get a job? Because I remember the last time you was up on here on social media, Beyonce's internet and Blue Ivy's internet, because we got to include her in that too. Wasn't you full had snot running down your nose and you was drooling talking about how you on EBT? You them SNAP benefits, did Trump cut them shits off yet? So what you talking about, Willis? And here's another thing that I'm sick of you closeted butch queens. I'm tired of y'all always running up in here thinking that y'all gonna come up every time somebody do something to y'all. Y'all want to use being gay as a goddamn negative. We're in 2026. Y'all need to grow the hell on up. And trust and believe, when I look at somebody like a Kevin McCall, I get butch queen vibes from him. Cause you give me full on, oh, she looked like she one of the girls. Look at her. Now Kevin is cute. Chris Brown is cuter. And this ain't got nothing to do with the fact that you dark skinned and you light because I hunch anybody that's attractive. So I'm not hating on you over that. Your attitude and your spirit is ugly, but you're not ugly. The things you doing is making you ugly. And now when Chris Brown come back and cut your behind out on his internet, I don't want to hear nothing. So I don't even understand where all this mess is coming from. That all of a sudden you deciding to come out here and throw shade at Chris Brown and calling him all these little gay things. And my thing is this too. I don't like when y'all go up on here talking about I'm gonna drop receipts and I got videos of you hooking up with with the dolls because I hate when y'all be using that T word. I mean, back in the day we used the word because it was amongst family and this that and the other. And I remember like a lot of the old school trans girls was not having a problem with tranny, but you using it in a derogatory way. So I don't like you using that word and trying to use that as a negative. Because trust and believe, I mean, even though I knew this, but Cardi B spilled that tea on Drag Race. It's like, yeah, but she be running with her entourage and she be having the dolls with her. the men's be looking. And trust me, I know people like you and your boys probably be looking because you can't work in this industry and not have encountered many a gays and many of the dolls. So we're not going to sit up here and try to act like y'all not aware. And y'all be hitting them girls up too. And y'all be hoping that that these are girls with some a little extra between me down there. Y'all don't be wanting them post-op girls. They be wanting the ones with the twigs and the berries. Because it's like you got yourself a pretty girl aesthetically, and they also got that meat between me down there. Am I lying? Like I'm look, trust and believe, I'm telling y'all the tea. People might get mad for me telling it, but I'm gonna tell it. So you over here saying this mess, and now trying to use your your color as an excuse. So since I got that from Hollywood Unlocked, what the people saying in the comments? One person said, "I when Chris starts tweaking, don't say nothing, bro." Another person said, "Don't care, Team Breezy, y'all ready for this new album?" And look, you can't sit up here and talk about Chris Brown or whatever. Chris Brown's still winning. People are supporting him, regardless. Nothing touches this boy. Yeah, he went through his thing with Rihanna. Rihanna's moved on. She got a bunch of damn kids with ASAP Rocky. Shout out to ASAP Rocky because he about to drop. I think he just dropped new music. And plus, he was talking about that he was a complete a-hole before he had children, but children have mellowed him out, which you would hope that it would happen with most parents. So Chris Brown out here living his life. Yeah, he still be getting into his shenanigans, but it don't seem like Team Breezy cares. He still got a thriving career. That boy goes overseas and sells out stadiums. He even sold out his shows in the United States. So, and what you doing? Trying to make sure your food stamps come in every month. So another person said Kevin has stopped crashing out, hasn't stopped crashing out ever since his EBT card stopped working. Another person said, "Y'all move, I got it." And they holding a big old brick. Another person said, "Anyways, what y'all wearing this tour? I got like 2 outfit ideas." Another person said, "Chris dropping a new album, Brown, soon. Stay tuned, Kevin. Stay mad." Oh yeah. Here's the thing. And another thing, what I almost forgot about. So when you gonna start taking care of that child you got with Eva Marcel? So you out here worrying about Chris Brown, but you a deadbeat, you a bum who had everything going for you, and you on the food stamps. I'm not throwing shade at people out here who need EBT, because if people do need it, you need it. And especially with this administration. I'm just clowning this idiot. So I have nothing else to say on this topic, but I just want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? It's like hooked on phonics out here trying to come for Chris Brown over for what? Like, is this we still mad over the fact that you saying that he owe you $24,000 or whatever the case is, and this is what you still mad about? Because look, we are 8 days in 2026. Why is January already action packed with all this? The beefs, people getting assassinated for no damn reason by ICE, and we got black butch queens out here SAing people in the church. We got butch queens who own a studio allegedly abusing people within their constituents, shitting where they eat, which is a rule I go by in my own place. I do not shit where I eat at work. And literally and figuratively. And this has been a lot of shenanigans. Look, y'all keeping me busy. I did put it out to the universe. I tell you that man be listening. I did put it out in the universe. I said, Chris want to be busy this month, and you've been keeping me busy. So be careful what you wish for, I guess is what I say. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Like Ian Malcolm said in Jurassic, not Ian Malcolm. Okay, shout out to damn, what's his name? Jeff Goldblum, because that's who played Ian Malcolm. Nature will find a way. It might be a Nathan's hot dog or a Vienna sausage, as long as we get a taste. Okay, and that's what Donnie was slurping. Is it? That's what he be saying. It's like speaking hieroglyphic. Look, he said, "Look at her, because I can't stand you." I'm about to start time stamping your reads. Okay, well, somebody need to, because it's time stamp them reads, and then I need to put it up. Look, I'll be putting all. I need to start cutting up them clips just for that. How you doing? What's that, Shaletti or Letty? All right, y'all, let's get into some A-list white people news. Because I was like, this was a mess. Look, everybody gets it on this show. We can go from the hood to Hollywood. So we just went to the hood with, what's his name? Kevin McCall. Now let's go all the way to Hollywood. I don't know if they all in Calabasas, but this is definitely what this is giving. This is giving Calabasas, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills tease with all of this. Let's get into this Hilary Duff messy ass story. So I don't know if y'all been paying attention to all of this, but I have found myself fascinated by this mess. Like I went down a deep rabbit hole. It was like there was a video where there was some of that Hillary's husband went in on Ashley Tisdale because Ashley Tisdale decided to write a whole ed about a mom group that she was in, and she was saying that they was treating her like shit in the damn group. And of course, people had to come out and be like, okay, bitch, there's a reason why they was treating you like shit because you are a bitch. In layman terms, is what I'm trying to get to, that you were just a nightmare to be a part of this situation. So Hillary's husband, Matthew Coma, even jumped into the conversation and decided to throw a couple of daggers in her direction. So Hillary Duff's husband, Matthew Coma, has seemingly called Ashley Tisdale self-obsessed and tone deaf after the High School Musical star penned an essay about leaving her celebrity mom group due to their toxic and mean girl behavior. While Tisdale has not named the participants in the group, she was previously in a group with Los Angeles-based moms, including Duff, Mandy Moore, and Megan Trainor. Now, on Tuesday, January 6th, a day, not that day of all days, a day after Tisdale published her scathing essay about why she left the group, in the cut, 38-year-old Coma came to Duff's defense by posting a fake magazine cover of himself with the headline, "A Mom Group Tell-All Through a Father's Eyes. When you're the most self-obsessed, tone deaf person on earth, other moms tend to shift focus to their actual toddlers." Here's the funny thing. That has got to be the longest ass title, but hold on, I got it. So is this one right here, is where he posted that mocking her. So he added a sarcastic caption, "Read my new interview with at the cut." The Independent and shout out to Independent because that's where I got the story from. They contacted reps for Tisdale and Duff for the comment. Now, all of this started because Tisdale shares two children with music composer Christopher French, wrote in her essay for the cut that she felt as though she had found a village in her mom group after the birth of her first daughter, Jupiter, in 2021. But Tisdale claimed the dynamic took a turn for the worse when she was frozen out of the group and excluded before she noticed their supposed high school style behavior. Well, Hollywood is like high school. Girl, where you been? I mean, you was in High School Musical. You should know that. Now, they said she wrote, "I remember being left out of a couple of group hangs, and I knew about them because Instagram made sure it fed me every single photo and Instagram story." Well, if you friends with these people, of course it's going to end up in their story, sis. Now she recalled, or your story, now she recalled another incident at a dinner party where she was sat at the end of the table, far from the rest of the women. Tisdale said that when she confronted the group, one person sent flowers, then ignored me when I thanked her for them. Aside from family outings and baby music classes, Instagram posts from 2022 showed members of the mom group went on a trip to a resort together without Moore, who was about to welcome her second baby. Trainer captioned the post, "I have mom friends and I love them." A rep, I guess Tisdale wasn't there. A rep for Tisdale told TMZ Monday that her essay was not about her friendship with Moore, Duff, and Trainer, stating that Tisdale's essay aimed to highlight issues mothers face based on her personal experience from a different group of friends. But if that was the group you were in, obviously you had issues with them. And here's the thing, I don't understand why you didn't bring these ladies to the side and have this conversation with them instead of jumping on social media. Well, not even social media. You did a whole op ed for a magazine. So if you're going to put that out there and saying that you was feeling away, and now you got everybody looking at us because we're a part of this group and we didn't even know this was how you was feeling. So you feel you need to exercise your demons in this article. Now people looking at me crazy. You wasn't specific as to who you was talking about, how many mom groups you were part of. So my thing is that I don't like the idea that she made something like this public. And the problem, and I mean, on one hand, I will say this, I'm of two minds. I get if you have an issue with certain people in the group and you want to bring this to light to help other mothers who are probably in similar situations that are not A-list, like you got regular moms from around the way that are part of a mom group, and there's an issue with one of the women and you don't know how to bring this forth, maybe this article will help them in that way. But when you're dealing with celebrities and stuff, celebrities just be high school and messy and just as dramatic and stuff. Hello, actors, singers have a flair for the dramatic. I don't know if you're aware of this, Ashley. I mean, doesn't she sing, dance, and act? So she should be aware of this. Like, you should be bringing all this up. Even Jenna Bush Hader said that, saying that um Hager, I should say, feeling left out in public because of social media, but also the fact that she wrote the article and made it public. I don't know. Good for her for telling the truth. But I also think private conversations are more and more important. Speaking your truth to the people who have hurt you should be enough. I hope we can also teach that if you feel wronged, if you feel hurt, show love. I mean, if you feel wrong and hurt, what does that mean? Show love. I feel like if you got an issue with somebody, address it. And if they're not going to respect you on that, then don't mingle with that friend. Remove yourself from that situation. But that's not all. So with all of that coming out, we got people out here sharing their stories. So we had That's So Raven's Annalise Van Paul, who was a waitress. They said after wrapping her initial run as an actress on Disney Channel, she had an awkward interaction with Ashley. So in an August 2023 Big Names podcast episode, because the people be out here digging, the 41-year-old told co-host Christy Carlson Romano recalled serving Tisdale 40 while working as a waitress, saying, "I want to say she was lovely, but," Vanderpool said, taking a drink from her cocktail instead of finishing the sentence. Y'all already know what that move means. That means, okay, you can't say something nice, take a sip. So the Ravens home alum who once worked at New York City's Salvation Burger, Salvation Taco and Tavern on the Green for about a year, explained that Tisdale did not react by saying, "Oh my God, hi." The High School Musical star was instead so visibly uncomfortable that Vanderpool was tempting to tell her, "I'm fine, girl." Oh, because he's saying because at this situation, I'm an actress. Why are we going back to waiting tables? So now I ran into you and you serving me, and now I'm feeling awkward because now it's like, "Hey girl, how you doing? What you doing in here?" But look, if there's no shame in some people's game, if you got to do what you got to do to pay them bills because the roles are not coming in, humble yourself enough to do what you got to do. If I got to go back to waiting tables or bartending or doing whatever, then I got to do that because bills got to get paid. I'm not sitting around waiting for the next big role to come along, or I gotta marry good for somebody to take care of me. That probably wasn't her ministry. Maybe that works for Ashley Tisdale because she's married to a music composer, so she don't have to work or worry about money coming in because the husband's taking care of her. So the Broadway star she said, wanted to proudly say, "I'm actually really happy that I don't have to audition or am doing something I know I'm good at. I know when I clean a table and bring a meal that I can do that and there won't be any mistakes." Um, so yeah, that's what she said on that. And then they said while Tisdale's rep denied the piece was about her star-studded group, Duff's husband clapped back on Tuesday. We already got into that, but there's more to the story. So shout out to Page Six, because then they had this story. They said that this situation that happened with her, Ashley Tisdale, was a long time coming. So after Tisdale broke ranks and trashed the group that allegedly includes members such as Hilary Duff, Mandy Moore, and designer Sammy Ryan, Duff's husband Matthew Coma seemingly slammed Tisdale back on social media. Um, a source familiar with the spat insisted to Page Six, Matthew gave her what she had coming. The source further said of Tisdale, "She's insufferable," adding that the friend breakup has been a long time coming. Tisdale kicked off 2026, as y'all know, blasting her former mom group as toxic in an essay penned for New York Magazine's The Cut. Um, where she reflected on not being cool enough for the group's other members and sitting alone one night after getting her daughters to bed, feeling totally lost as to what she was doing wrong to be left out. She ended up texting the group. She wrote, "This is too high school for me and I don't want to take part in it anymore." Tisdale didn't mention names, but social media sleuths noticed that she unfollowed Duff, who's 38, and Mandy Moore, who's 40. So if she's out here saying that it wasn't about them. And then you have Hilary Duff's husband jumping in. Obviously, a hit dog is hollering and he's coming into the defense of his wife, which pretty much is giving away the situation that she got smoked for Hilary and Mandy. And everybody looking at Mandy, wait a minute, Mandy Moore is like as sweet as apple pie. Like, that's the image she always gave. Well, first of all, ever since Mandy Moore came out, she did that song Candy, I've been a Mandy Moore fan. So I was never expected to be like, she's a mean girl. Like, she don't give me that. I mean, I don't know these people personally. You never know. There'll be people out here who give this wholesome image. I mean, they true see you next Tuesday behind the scenes. So you never know with these people. But Mandy Moore always seems like she's sweet, but like, I've never heard any bad things about her. And Hilary Duff, there's been stories about her over the years. Her mother was sabotaging a lot of people's careers, so I wouldn't put nothing past her. And I know Hilary's got a new album coming out, I think next month. So people feel like this might be a little sabotage being thrown in this situation as well. So yeah, he had came out and Hillary's husband came out and defended her and basically confirmed his wife's membership in the group when he mocked the cut essay on Tuesday, where I already just showed y'all the thing with that long ass title. And he didn't call her out directly, but we already know. But do you have to call somebody out directly when you post a picture like this where you're mocking her? And this is basically a mockery of this cover. That's the cover. And this is his mockery of it. So do we need confirmation of who we talking about? I think we go smart enough. I expect everybody who watches the show to be highly intelligent. So if we're watching this, I'm sure we all could put our thinking caps on and put two together and figure it out. Like, come on now. I hate when people are like, he wasn't really saying that. Really? Like, we're not dumb. So and then they said Ryan also seemingly alluded to Tisdale's piece by posting a clip of someone lip syncing to Megan Thee Stallion's hair with lyrics like, I don't care if these bitches don't like me because I'm pretty as fuck. Well, good for you, daughter. Now, they said Duff's sister Haley seemingly sided against her sister by actually liking Tisdale's essay. So Haley Duff don't get along with Hillary? Where the hell have I been? Child, I tell you, there might be some truth to the fact that Hillary might be a mean girl. Hillary do give me mean girl tease. No shade. She always gives me that, like, I'm pretty blonde one, blah, 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 blah. And then anybody that comes in and might conflict with her pretty blondness, it does seem like she gives very much mean girl tease. And I'm talking about mean girl as in like the character in Mean Girls. She definitely gives that. Now, they said that the supposed scandal even had comedian Chelsea Handler chiming in. Now, in an interview with Page Six Radio on Wednesday, she defended her wonderfully sweet friend Moore, saying, "I have no idea what went on, but I know Mandy Moore, and she's wonderful. She's a wonderful, sweet person. I'll just say that, but I don't really know Ashley Tisdale." So there was that, and then last but certainly not least, because I had to come with all the receipts. Well, this story was just unfolding and I told you I went on a deep dive. I was like, I ain't even in a mom group, and I'm more invested than the average person. So Rob Shooter, shout out to him, had the tea over there on his Substack and basically said Hilary Duff is in an all-out war with Ashley Tisdale and said the following. The drama in Hollywood mom circles is boiling over, and let me tell you, the texts and group chats are barely scratching the surface. Sources close to the group say that Ashley Tisdale has been a nightmare to deal with for years, and Hilary Duff is finally done playing nice, saying, quote, Ashley will start a fight over who brought the wrong snack to lunch or who responded too slowly in the chat. This is according to one insider who told Rob Shooter this tea. It's relentless. Hilary tries to smooth things over, but Ashley thrives on chaos. It all blew up after Tisdale's essay calling the group toxic and mean, but my sources say the diva behavior goes back to multiple vacations and Zoom calls, saying she'll show up late, leave early, and then post passive-aggressive memes about everyone else's parenting. It's like living in a reality show, except nobody signed up for the drama. Now, Matthew Coma, Duff's husband, didn't hold back in the IG post, mocking the magazine cover, which we already went through. We don't need to read that again. And then also went on to say that Other sources describe incidents where Tisdale ignored repeated invites to group outings and then complained publicly about being left out, saying Hilary sent her private messages saying, "Just tell us if you don't want to come. Stop stirring drama." As source tells me, Ashley never replies, then posts a long Instagram story about being excluded. It's maddening. My sources tell Hilary is fed up but staying classy, saying Hilary's done letting Ashley control the narrative. She's calm, but everyone in the group knows she's done tolerating the nonsense. So clearly, Ashley is a chaos demon. Ashley likes drama. She thrives on it. And it's like, we're asking you, we're including you in the situation. Do you want to come or not? Let us know. Because if you're planning outings and stuff, that's money. Like, you got to find, like, if we're going to go out somewhere and we got 8 girls coming, you got to make sure, I'm sure everybody in here has seen an episode of The Damn Housewives where it's like, you got to, when they go on their little vacations and they got to, plan like, how many rooms we're gonna need, and this person that this one don't get along with this one, or this one want their own room, and I know this one might want a room with this one because they real close. So you gotta plan all that. You gotta play a lot of chess when you're dealing with a lot of women and a lot of their personalities. So I can totally understand what all this other stuff is. And here you go looking with that face, judging how this mother over here is taking care, dealing with her child because she ain't doing what you be doing over there with one of them planet children. What they name Jupiter. So you're not dealing with. I'm not doing my child the way you do yours. Okay, everybody's different. Not everybody raises their kid the way you raise yours. You raise your child the way you raise yours. I'm gonna raise mine the way I raise mine. You don't have a right to come in and just giving that face like you judging. Mind your business. And everybody's not perfect. So if you want to be over there by yourself with your little one friend or your husband and your kid or whatever, then you do that. But I don't understand those people that be up in there just judging other parents in your mom group, or they coming in with passive aggressive stuff, or you want to post things on social media making us look like the bad guy when it's like that's not the case. So if you want to be, a chaos demon and you want to be up in there getting wrapped up in all the drama, then you go ahead and do that, daughter. But do that on your own time. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I'm sure there's gonna be a lot unfolding with this mess as the stories further develop. But I definitely want to hear from you. And shout out to Rob Shooter for the old, that whole feud situation, because it's simmering right now, but eventually it's going to hit its boiling point. So I definitely want to hear from y'all regarding this story. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. She might be. Hold on, because I think I did save the screenshot of something that she wrote. Um. Oh yeah, I do have it. So there was something that she posted, and I think this is around the time of Charlie Kirk. She wrote, I mean, when he was pow pow in the net. So she put 24 years ago feels very different from, oh, this might be about 9/11 too, or something or another. 24 years ago feels very different from today, where we once were united and grieving together as a country. Today we see someone die and blame his politics and okay, so she was equating 9/11. Now that I get it. Equating what happened to 9/11 with the whole Charlie Kirk situation, which I don't know why, because Charlie was a racist. But nevertheless, let's get into the thing. She said, and blame his politics and opinions. Everyone in that building had different views and opinions. When we stop caring about loss of life, we are done. Well, girl, that was two different things. The thing with 9/11, that is something completely different. We're not going to sit here and talk about hundreds of people who were in a building that a plane went into on 9/11 to Charlie Kirk, who made basically his money spewing hate and vitriol towards marginalized communities, Black people, women, gays. And it's funny how, like, his wife is out here doing all the grifting. He didn't even want her ass out here doing all this stuff. That man is doing somersaults in his grave as we speak because she's doing everything that he was against, including trying to mess with JD fat ass Vance. So now, then she went on to say, it shouldn't be controversial to say this, but even when we disagree or find someone's views offensive, violence is never the answer. And to be clear, I stand on equal rights for everyone, women's rights, voting rights, Levitical plus rights, everyone. I also support protecting reproductive rights and implementing common sense gun laws. She's all over the place with her comments, though, because you're talking about it's, if you find something offensive, violence should be the answer. In a perfect world, yes, but we're on a whole nother plane now, especially with the way this administration is treating people. Oh wait, there's something going on with Letitia James. I'm going to have to read that another time. People sending me messages, but anyway. So yeah, there's that. So she might be a conservative, but I think like from her saying that, people accuse her of being right wing or MAGA and all that other stuff. It kind of seems like Ashley might be trying to sabotage Hillary since she has a new album coming out soon. Why didn't she say all this sooner? Good question. Like I said, her story is giving politics, and from what I understand, she was bragging about having a new home during the Palisades fire while Hilary Duff hosted Mandy Moore and Megan Trainor's family. So you wasn't even a real friend. You was up in there just, I guess you wanted to know everything that was going on. You wanted to be, nosy. Which both their homes was unsafe due to smoke inhalation. It was unsafe, but Ashley was doing look at my new home, which I agree with Matt. That's tone deaf behavior. Because it's like, yeah, if people are out here worrying about losing their house and through the wildfires and stuff that's going on, you up in here want to show, look at my new home. I'm so lucky. Look at all of my things. And it's like, ma'am, read the tea leaves. It's like, what are you doing? This is giving tone deaf. All right, Beyonce. Sabotage. I mean, anytime a celebrity pops up in any way on my feed around some project release of theirs, it's basically promo. Well, look, Hilary Duff can use this as promo because now, um, she could use this as promo because, like you said, all publicity is good publicity. And the funny thing is, now that she has this album coming out, she's gonna be out there promoting. This is what all the well, not even the blogs, because do they even go to I guess like if she does any of these YouTube podcasts or when she goes on NBC and like the daily, what is it, the morning shows that they have on CBS, NBC, ABC, and The View and all these other places that I'm sure she's gonna be doing the circuits for those. They'll ask her those questions. She goes on Watch What Happens Live, Andy Cohen messy behind gonna ask her that. So she'll be answering that question to the cows come home. So I don't necessarily know what her views are. I don't know if she is conservative, but based on this next topic we're about to get into, I'm guessing she is conservative. Let's talk about Jenny McCarthy because Jenny McCarthy just did Stephen Miller's wife's podcast, and she's up on there. She's basically RFK Jr. with tits, or sorry, implants, because she was up in there with these anti-vax talking points, and I left the thing open on purpose. I didn't watch the video because anything with Katie Miller or Stephen Miller, because they only have one tone, and that's like they're always screaming, like kind of like Sucker A. Smith, always screaming. Your volume is always up here. It's never like even keeled, like how my voice is right now. So she went on her show and was talking a whole bunch of bullshit, and the comments over there on Katie Miller's YouTube channel was a cackle. So we'll get into those in a minute. So Jenny McCarthy, who served as a co-host from 2013 to 2014. Damn, she was only in for one season. She did season 17 of The View. She talked candidly about her experience on the daytime talk show during the Tuesday, January, and this is the worst because it premiered on January 6th, Katie Miller's podcast. Why this annoying bitch got a podcast? I told her everybody named Mama got a podcast at this point. Now, when asked if she thinks she'd be invited back as a co-host on the show, now in its 29th season, McCarthy reflected on her initial invitation. She said, the reason why they wanted to bring me on is because they, quote, said it was to, or wait, she said why they wanted to bring me on is because they, quote, said it was too polarizing. They thought it was too polarizing back then, you guys. Are you saying would or wouldn't? Because I'm confused. Like, if you polarize, they don't want you on the show. So, according to McCarthy, the show initially intended to bring her on as a permanent panelist to provide light, fluffy, and fun commentary on topics such as Dancing with the Stars and The Bachelor. I do remember that because I think when she was on there, when Sherry Shepherd was on it, and I think at one point, who was that tall comedian? I forgot her name. Michelle something. I remember one time they brought her on for one season, and I think they were supposed to come on and kind of be the pop culture gurus. It wasn't about politics, but then they started to shift more into politics, and she kind of felt out of place at that part because Elizabeth Hassel Snatch was on that show at the time too. That's when they had that small ass table that they was all trying to squeeze five women in, behind. So she said, "Well, that lasted a week." That lasted a whole week. And back then, I didn't consider myself to be a political person, which is why I thought I was perfect for the job. After a week, when they said they wanted to get political, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? They're like, today we're going to be discussing the hostage situation and whether the United States government should pay the ransom or not. And I was like, what? I'm like, I just know who won Dancing with the Stars. So getting through that year was really difficult. Now, McCarthy says she is much more political now than she was when as a co-host on The View because our latest administration has helped so much. Well, I think here's the thing, helped. You mean, child, this administration is a goddamn laughing stock. The fact of the matter is I think all of us have no choice to get more political because politics has infiltrated pop culture. It's not the other way around. It's not pop culture hasn't infiltrated politics. It's politics has infiltrated our pop culture. So back then, when y'all try to use this excuse every time somebody's who you don't particularly care for says something political, and you're like, "Shut up and dribble," or "Don't why don't you just make music and stop being so political," or "Why don't you just act and stop being political?" You can't. That doesn't fly anymore. Politics has been everything. And that's because this current president and this administration have found ways, because he's a marketer, that his thing is marketing from him being on Celebrity Apprentice and all that other stuff. He's found a way to make politics a marketable thing and a profit off of in a financial way. This is why you see people like Sucker A. Smith grifting and doing the dance to jump in and want to all of a sudden get into this. This is how you go from politics, well, not politics, from sports casting over there being one of the biggest sportscasters on ABC to jumping into politics on his own time because it's the new grift. Politics is the new grift. There's more money to be made when you make a lot of these Republican talking points than these boring ass Democrats who just want to play this Michelle Obama when they go low, we go high type of mentality. So she's talking about that she's gotten more political. I think you still are a bit of an airhead and you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to politics. I think you say certain things and you jump into certain things because it sounds cute or whatever. So I do feel like even like Jenny is still misinformed. But I would agree with her on this that I would be pissed if I sign on to a show where I'm only supposed to be on here talking about entertainment news and gossip and hot topics or pop culture stuff. And now you want me to give my opinion on politics. I'm like, that's not my thing. That's not my strong suit. And quiet as it's kept, 29 seasons later, there's still people on that damn show that don't know what the hell they talking about in regards to politics. They read shit given to them from them tired ass producers backstage on a cue card or what is being chirped in their ear and they recite it like Jennifer Lopez reading that damn teleprompter at her residency and trying to pass it off of that booty comments and the little jokes and the ad libs and stuff she was making, like she really was coming off the dome with it. Girl, we saw the teleprompter. So your tea been spilled. And funny enough, Rob Shooter actually did a whole article, and I'm like, sir, I believe you because we seen the video, and I played it on here for y'all. So I don't think Jenny McCarthy knows what she's talking about in politics, particularly when it comes to vaccines and things. And you shouldn't be surprised she's married to a damn Wahlberg. They all fucked up in that damn family and lean very much Jesus freaks, conservative, all of that mess. So, but yeah, she said, wait, hold on. What else did she say in this whole situation? She said, yeah, she said she's more political because of the whole administration. But she said, oh, but back then, oh, I would not. I would never even. They asked me to come back for like reunion shows. I was like, over my dead body would I ever step foot in that place. And look, it's your prerogative. It ain't never stopped Elizabeth from going back, even though she probably has way worse political opinions than you do. And Sherry Shepherd, it ain't never stopped her from going back either. Now, speaking of Sherry Shepherd actually went and there was a clip of Sherry talking about, I don't know if it aired yet, but Entertainment Weekly had the exclusive clip and basically came to Jenny's defense on her talk show. And yeah, she said that she about regarding her saying over her dead body, she'll return to the Hot Topics table. Now, Entertainment Weekly's exclusive clip below for the from Thursday's Sherry talk. Okay, so it did air already. Sherry's talk show broadcast airing in different times in syndication. Sherry reflects on her time co-hosting The View with McCarthy, the 1994 Playboy Playmate of the Year and actress who sat at the panel for the season between 2013 and 2014. And So I do have the clip. I'm gonna just play it for y'all so y'all can hear it. I did have to change the speed. Hopefully they don't get me in these situations for playing this clip because you know how these damn corporations are. But hey, YouTube, hold on, please hold.
It's no secret. Jenny McCarthy hated being on The View. She said she was hired to do one thing, but when she got the job, they made her do something else. I remember that day they switched it to politics. Jenny came into my dressing room just like that. She goes, Sherry, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And I looked at her, I said, what you gonna do? What we gonna do? You know, and everything that Jenny is saying is absolutely true. I felt really bad for my friend because they brought her on the show after a lot of focus groups said that they wanted less fighting about politics. They wanted to be more chill, more fun. And so they brought Jenny on because Jenny was light and she was funny and she was sexy. But then the focus groups changed their minds. They wanted the politics back. They wanted us going back and forth. So 2 weeks later, she's on the show, and I remember it to the day. 2 weeks later, they had the girl wearing glasses. And I looked up, I said, what the hell you wearing glasses for? And she's like, you know, Sherry, they want me to look like I know politics. They want me to look. And I'm going, and I was sitting there and I said, how do you have Playmate of the Year looking conservative? So they would try to make.
Hold on, that's the thing that pisses me off too, is that, oh, so throwing glasses on makes you look smart. We've seen a lot of people who got 4 eyes and about as dumb as a box of rocks. If you want to know what I'm talking about, have you seen Barry Weiss? That's an idiot running over there who's running CBS. She wear glasses. Do it make her look smart? Now we see what she's doing to that damn network.
Jenny looked conservative, but all she looked like was a sexy librarian. That's what she looked like. I used to make fun. I used to like razz her all the time. And so, you know, she had a hard time, like she was saying, because it was all politics. She had a hard time. It was so much politics. So I would suggest fun stuff for us to do. And one time I said, girl, let's go topless. All right, so we went topless on The View. This way I said, well, Jenny can show off her funny side. I just wanted to show off my boobs. So that's why, so we went topless. And y'all just know, that was the day Barbara Walters was not there that day. Because she would have had a fit. But, you know, I also had the same problem as Jenny because when I came on the show, they wanted someone light. They wanted a person who was a mother, you know, to talk about being single, being a mother. It was supposed to be just very, very light celebrity. So I thought that I was going to be doing stand-up comedy, telling jokes, being funny when I was on The View. But then Barack Obama ran for president and politics was all we talked about. It was so hard for me because I was in this religion where we didn't, you know, my religion I came from, we didn't vote. So I had never voted before. And Barbara, she would look at me and because I just wasn't, you know, when you grow up in a religion and that's all you grew up around, you're really not, you don't know a lot about the world. So Barbara would always look at me. I remember one day she went, dear, read a book. And I said, uh-oh, we in trouble, okay. So it was just about politics. So even though it was hard for me, I do have to say, I had the best time on The View. It was one of the best, hardest, most terrifying, most crying-filled experiences, but I loved it. And I'm friends for life with the women that I sat with at that table. I go.
Okay, so I pretty much think y'all got the point in regards to all of that. But here's the thing: it was like I totally get that, and that would have been, I feel like, a cool thing for her to do would be to like incorporate that into the show. That, you know what, I grew up Jehovah's Witness. We didn't really get to vote. We couldn't really interact with the outside world a lot. You kind of stay within the people. That's same thing with Scientology. Like you got to stay within the people of the religion and all that other stuff. And so you asking me to give commentary on a lot of things that I just am not well versed in. But that's still not an excuse because if you're going to do a show like The View, it's sort of like, yeah, if we're going to talk about certain topics the next day, give me the research and everything that I need to go into and read up on it so that way I can give my opinion and that all the other some of the show. Doing a show like The View, it requires a lot of homework. It's like doing this show if you're doing a daily show, a live show, it's like you have to, if you're going to come on and talk about certain things, you do deep dives, you do your research, you do your homework, and you look up all the things so that way you know what the hell you're talking about when you're on that show. So, I totally get it, but like I said before, it's like you got I don't know. I just wish that The View would become a little more lighthearted stuff instead of them pushing all these Zionist talking points and everything. Because when I look at them, like when we look at The View today, are there anybody on there that still knows what they're talking about? Okay, so Alyssa understands she has a political background. She worked under Trump's first administration, so she's got a bit of a political background. I guess with Sunny Hostin, her being a former prosecutor who now is doing commentary and being working in television. She has a background in politics because if you're going to be a judge or an attorney, whatever, a lot of attorneys, judges, whatever, eventually get into politics, be a senator, government, any form of government they run into, even becoming president. They have that lawyer background. So I understand that. Joy has always been fairly political. I mean, she had a show on a couple of the cable channels, like her own Joy Behar show. So she has a bit, she's very much heavily into politics, so she gets a pass with that. Um Anna Navarro is very political. She's always been pretty political. She's a political commentator. So yeah, she has a political background. The only people on the show who really don't know what they be talking about half the time about politics is Whoopi. Whoopi's the EGOT, so I guess because she's a name, that's why they had her there. And Sarah just regurgitates talking points spoon fed to her by producers. So she's them two are the only two that don't really know what the hell they be talking about 9 times out of 10 when it comes to the politics. So, oh yeah, and let's get to the comments of what they were saying in regards to the whole vaccines and stuff in the comments regarding what Jenny McCarthy was saying on the what was that show? The Katie Miller podcast. Funny enough, you want to know something? They had like, you know how that if you ever go on YouTube, they give you like the little like if you're depending on what you talk about, they'll put a disclaimer on like if you talk about vaccinations or if you talk about certain things in politics, they'll put a disclaimer across. So here's the vaccination information that they put up on under Katie Miller's podcast. They said CDC vaccines have greatly reduced diseases that once routinely harmed or killed babies, children, and adults. People all over the world, including in the United States, still become seriously ill or even die from diseases that vaccines can help prevent. So this is what they put up there. Because they said you can die from a disease that vaccines can help prevent. So that's what they put up there. And then, so what people said in the comments was, I'm all for vermin not vaccinating their children. Shouldn't use car seats for seatbelts either. The less protection, the better. It's basically saying you was a dumbass bitch. Another person said, why do you want war with Europe? Greenland is not yours. Another one said, everyone got a grift. Another person said, if people just stop and do their research, people have lots of it. They're called scientists. Neither of you care to understand, idiots. And then so people was literally up in there eating up Jenny McCarthy and Stephen Miller's wife, who, if I'm not mistaken, is with child again. Blech. Bringing another demon into the world. Oh, and another person said, baby coffins are so cute. But I was saying that, you know what, I guess you'll want to come up in here and start killing y'all children. Another person said, who's your new baby daddy, Kate? Rumors are it's Elon Musk's baby. Is it true? Please tell us. We won't tell little H. Another person said, Jenny and Katie, you might have a college degree, but you are not scientists. You have no scientific background. You don't understand science. You just spread misinformation and lies. I don't know how people sit up in here and read a lot of this stuff. But look, child, they up in there eating them up. One person said, well, here we are watching incompetent individuals spread more of their lies and nonsense. Oh, Jenny, did you hit your head? Oh, that bitch been an airhead. And there's literally one person I think that said, such a fun episode, always here for support. But everybody's talking about how much misinformation they're spreading. But here's the thing. This episode came out yesterday, and it has 5.1K views. Katie Miller, no shade, but this is not your wheelhouse. This is not something you're good at. Maybe you need to go back to just being a doting wife and just a baby maker, or better yet, just try to get back up on CNN because CNN loves giving a lot of you psychopaths a platform. They keep doing it with Scott Jennings. And you've been on there a couple of times. So MAGA Light Network, CNN, which CBS is starting to turn into, why don't you go back to doing that? Because you're not bringing in the numbers. Nobody cares enough about you and your tight-ass podcast for you to even be out here doing these interviews. So let's say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding dingbat Jenny McCarthy out here spreading misinformation? Sherry, you need better friends. But I've been around you and you're not the brightest tool in the toolbox either. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Yeah, because it makes all parties involved relevant again for 15 more minutes. Trump ruining the world made people more. Exactly. So that made people like start paying him more attention because he pulled the curtain behind, what was it? Like, it's like Wizard of Oz. He was the one who revealed who the man behind the curtain was. More people shot by immigration agents in Portland, Oregon. So now because I'm hearing that, what's the word? That these ICE agents been given full immunity, so now they're just going around just shooting people, taking people's lives, executing. Like, what are we doing in this country? And where are the damn Democrats? Why are y'all so quiet? If y'all think that y'all just gonna pop up during the midterms and be like, vote for me after you did the bare minimum, y'all got another thing coming. Yeah, that's true. She has always been pretty much out here spewing this anti-vax information. If she could push Cheryl Hines out the way and marry RFK Jr., I'm sure she would. But then again, I'm guessing she'd rather stay with Donnie Wahlberg. Pretty much everything she says is against the status quo, and usually it offends the conservative side. Okay, so now let's get into the rest of the show. Hold on, there was another comment that came in. JD Vance irked me so bad when he spoke. No, please. He's another idiot. No kind of Riz. They hoping that the president don't end up dying or whatever. Because all the other people y'all got in line, y'all they don't have that it factor. JD Vance is insufferable. Nobody likes Stephen Miller. Every time he gets on camera, they're just like, would they just shut this little man with his receding hairline up? Like, you are literally the troll under the bridge. You're always yelling for no damn reason. You're just a hater. So nobody wants to hear from you. Pete Heg's breath. Um, he drinks as much as he breathes. So nobody wants to look at that drunk. Let's move on. I'm over the politics right now. As I was saying earlier, I'm so overwhelmed by all this mess. And they were like, well, that's what they want. They want you to get. I said, I ain't said I was giving up. I said, I'm just overwhelmed by all the politics. Like, I be trying to keep up with everything that's going on. And it's like, I can't. If I can't keep up with today's stuff, tomorrow, 10 new things that the Trump administration has been doing that's a disaster comes out. And I got to try to inform myself with that. It's like, God damn. And enough hours in the day that I got to be sitting there trying to focus on all this stuff. So I try to take in as much as I can because at the end of the day, I gotta protect my mental health and my anxiety as well. They're not gonna be stressing me at an age of me 10 years. I didn't decide to get into politics. You're not gonna have me out here looking old and haggard. Anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about Cardi B. So Cardi B has started rehearsing for her tour. I believe she started on January 6th. Why is January 6th is real popular? There's a lot of topics we've been doing today that people, was come from people doing shit on January 6th. But anyway, so she hopped on IG Live, excuse me, and basically was talking about this upcoming tour and said she is over budget and said, girl, I'm not Beyonce. I can't be out here with, putting together these old, extravagant tours with all this money and stuff. So she said, we did the budget. So now it's just like, I got to go find the effing money or I would have to put up some of my own money for things that I want. I feel like we keep doing the budget every other week and ish. So it's just a lot. On top of that, it's a lot of dance moves that I got to do that I'm just not, and I'm just ready to go home, the mother of four said before noting she's not exactly enjoying her time in LA. I don't like being in LA no more. I don't like it. The Little Miss Drama Tour is slated to begin in February 11th and will take Cardi through various cities across North America, including Houston, Detroit, New York, and Chicago. The headlining run will culminate in 2 back-to-back shows in Atlanta State Farm's Arena. And they had all the dates, but they were talking about, but some of them dates is outdated because y'all didn't add the second date that she's doing at MSG because the first one sold out. So she has a second show. Now, elsewhere in her Instagram live, she joked that her tour budget isn't that of someone like Beyonce, but she's still going to give fans a good time. So I ain't no damn Beyonce, so don't be expecting none of that ish. She hilariously said, I don't got that kind of production money, but bitch, I'm going to give you all I got and I'm working hard. I'm popping it. Well, Cardi's all right live. Like she gets up there, she just get up there, give your personality, give 110%. Remember all your damn lyrics for your songs. If you forget it, whatever the case is, let the backing track pretty much help you catch up. Have your dancers do all the work. If you want to come in and pop and lock it a little bit every now and again, just do what you got to do. We're not saying you got to go full on Lady Gaga mayhem because I don't think we expecting that type of spectacle from this concert. But as long as you put in the work and as long as you do what you got to do, she's like, I hate LA, probably because they got the studios out there, the rehearsal space where you can go and do the shows you got to do. But I'm curious as to what she's expecting to bring to the show. Like, what do you want? Like big props? Or I think it should just focus on having a cute little stage, a nice stage setup. You got your dancers. I'm assuming she's going to have a band. Don't do that cheap, corny mess where it's like you got a DJ. Have a full on band there with the music. And then you get in there, you get your dancers, you come out on the stage, you look fierce with the costumes. I'm not expecting you to give full choreography because you're not that good of a dancer. No shade. I mean, this is not stripper dancing. You gotta this is next level. So I'm not expecting you to give all that unless you're gonna prove us wrong. But okay, she could do a little 1-2 step, but as long as you can go in there and do what you got to do, I don't think it's going to be that bad. Now, she didn't share what her current budget is, and not to pocket watch her too much, but she did reveal in 2024 that she was offered $65 million to hit the road. A since deleted screenshot of the proposal included $1.1 million per show and $1.5 million for festival dates. So if you got to throw a little bit of your money in there to help the budget, then be my guest. I mean, you will. I'm sure you will recoup all of it when through the merch and all of that stuff. I don't know what your overall deal is, but by you selling merchandise and things, you can make all that money back twofold. So, and you touring, you're actually going to make a good amount of money. But this is what happens when you take 7 years to release a damn second album. But shout out to you. And good luck on this tour. I'm sure I'll probably work in one, if not both, dates of the show. And when it does come around to New York and I end up working, I'll let y'all know my overall thoughts when we cross that bridge. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding Cardi B saying what she said about her upcoming tour? She was like, yeah, we over budget. I gotta figure out where that money's coming from. And don't expect a Beyonce type spectacle. I don't think we were, but I understand a lot of y'all are greedy these days. Y'all be expecting like all kinds of crazy razzle dazzle, whatever. You got to build up to that point. But I don't even see Cardi doing that type of show. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I stopped watching the news, The Breakfast Club, every morning a while ago. I realized hearing about Epstein on ice just clouded the rest of my day and had a negative impact on me, so I put it to rest. Wait, before we get to this comment, I'm gonna leave that up. But you know who actually started watching? And I never watched their show before. I would watch little clips and stuff, but since they got fired from Hot 97 and ended up doing a YouTube show, the Ebro Laura Rosenberg show. Because remember Ebro in the morning when he used to have that over there, and once they got fired, he ended up creating their show over on YouTube. It's like an hour that basically of their show every day. Their show was so much better. Watching maybe because I'm a lot older and I don't want ratchetness, nonsense, which is what I think that the Breakfast Club gives. I feel like they be tap dancing for their check. So I don't like watching them because I be feeling like a lot of times Charlamagne be flip flopping when it comes to the politics and stuff. Like when you watch Ebro, Laura, and Rosenberg, you get different points of view, and it really feels like it's them being authentically themselves. They're not coming from a place of being actual ignorant ass people. So that's why I kind of like watching their show and the way they do their stuff over there. So that's more like my speed. I could care less about Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club. That show could burn at the stake for all I care. Um, you said I'm interested to see how Cardi B's tour would. Well, I'm talking how a Cardi B tour would look like, considering she's never really been on one. Considering how visual she is as an artist, I would expect stage designs, props, and dramatic. That's what I'm saying. Like she's more of a visual girl, so I'm sure we're expecting all of that. So I'm expecting props. I'm expecting great costumes. I'm expecting a lot of great dancers. I don't know if she's gonna mix it up or she's gonna have just guy dancers, but child, quite as long as she give a better stage show than that mess that Pink Friday 2 tour, and I worked that show, so I can say this. That tour was a mess. The way they was the way that show was structured, I was like, what the fuck? And then the tone wise, like it didn't flow right. And then it's like in the middle of your show, she kept disappearing off the stage. There would be long gaps before we would get to the next segment of the show. You would bring other people out, and then in the middle of the show, you had Monica come. I'm like, what? That's not what? Like Monica would be an opening act, even though I don't think Monica should be a moment. And we're about to get into some Monica T in a second. Funny how that this ended up becoming a transition into that. But you doing a hip hop show, but then you stick an R&B girl in the middle. And I remember people that were there saying, let me know when this is over. Like people was not feeling the whole Monica section of the Nicki Minaj Pink Friday 2 tour. It's literally me having conversations with people. So if people want to come in and talk about hater this, hater that, it's like I don't live in the matrix. I live in the real world. I interact with actual people and have conversations with actual people. I don't do that whole online internet bullshit. So anyway, speaking of Monica, let's get into some Monica's tea. So apparently Monica did a recent interview where Monica Denise did a recent interview where she opened up about her career, saying that she was never focused on stats and awards. Because here's the thing, I've made my jokes and I've said like Monica is kind of like a Chitlin circuit R&B singer. Like I make my little jokes with her because she kind of always flew under the radar. But no shade, I would rather have the career she has than the career of like a Beyonce and all these other people. Because the thing with Monica is she could go wherever the hell she want and fly under the radar. A Beyonce, a Taylor Swift, a Lady Gaga, all those people that's on that magnitude can't run the streets like someone who has like that steady career. I would rather have the steady career instead of just this. And I hate the fact that there's people out here who always try to measure other people's status or success or career as you got to be at that Beyonce level. That's all great to have 80,000 awards and all the accolades and people reading down your whole situation like it's a goddamn resume. And you say, stop. They doing all of that. And this is like, okay, this is giving fake modesty. And that's cute if that's what you want. If you want to just aspire and have accolades and have this long list of accomplishments and achievements, that's great. But if that's all you got into the business for, to me, it's just like, that's not what matters. To me, what matters is if I get to live out the dream and I get to have all the rewards because I'm living out my dream and it's not necessarily for award recognition and all these other things. So I do have the clip of her talking about this, and we will come back and talk. Please hold.
But what I learned in those moments is that there's a plan for all of our lives, and it's orchestrated by somebody bigger than every person in this room. And what was meant to happen was for my life to change that day. And I was able to really enjoy my career because I didn't have any expectations. I was not looking at stats. I was not worried about awards. I'm actually a person that for all the records I've broken, I really have never won any awards. I'm really the most forgotten. If you think about it, I'm pretty much the underdog, but I sit very comfortably in it because I can still go where I want, do what I want, live how I want. But when I say that I am often forgotten, I was hosting the Soul Train Awards, was nominated for 5. 3 of my songs in one category and still lost. But I went out to eat and kicked my regular after. I was not bothered because that's not what I do it for.
That's dope.
That is really my point when I say that oftentimes I'm forgotten in those spaces. But what
So, with her saying that kind of makes me wonder, did she come to that revelation because she's older and wiser? Or did she always have that mentality? Because I really feel like if you are a person of a when you younger and you aspire to, oh yeah, I'm gonna be singing. I get all the great songs and I put out good quality music and I get to go to the BET Awards and the VMAs and I get to do all these things and I get to have all this success. But I'm not winning awards and those other. So I wonder if she came to this revelation later in life, where it's like because when you in your 40s, I'm gonna tell you, when you're in your 40s, that's when the perspectives of things start to come in, where it's like you realize what matters and what doesn't. The mature 40 people, 40 plus people, you start to realize that, okay, what's the most important thing and what matters to you in your life and your career and all those other things. So I'm wondering if this is a later in life thought process that she had. But some of the people in the comments said she ain't wrong, and I'll die on that hill that Monica made better music than Brand. Don't play. Do not play with B Rocka, because what we not going to do is sit up here and say she made better songs than Brandy or better music. Monica does what she does. Brandy does what she does. Brandy was more of that crossover artist, and I love when Brandy worked with Dark Child and some songs with Timbaland, because I do love Aphrodisiac. But what we're not going to do is sit up here and play in Brandy face. Brandy even need to be brought up in this conversation because it ain't got nothing to do with her. Man, Brandy and Monica just did a tour together, tore it down. The tour was a success. It actually ended up as one of the on the list of best tours of 2025 from Variety. So they was living for the tour. So we ain't got to come in here and throw a dag at somebody else to make your fave feel better. Now, another person said Monica never sold her soul. They been knew not to play with Miss Thing. Authenticity over publicity any day. When everybody was lying, she was one of the ones telling the truth. May not have had the strongest career, but she lasted the longest. Love her real bad. Another person said Monica is exactly who she think. Wait, Monica is exactly who she thinks she is. Is it shade? I don't know. I can't tell sometimes. Cece Peterson, yes. I live for Cece Peterson. I know she was in the comments. Said Monica deserves more. I agree. So beautiful and amazing voice. Another person said Monica received her awards from her fans who have stood by her from day one. And that's what that is. That's what I would appreciate. I just appreciate that if I got a loyal set of fans who rock with me regardless of what happens, anytime I put out an album, y'all show up and show out. If I put out a tour, y'all show up and show out. It's kind of like with Chris Brown. I mean, I don't want to equate her with Chris Brown because of the things that he's done that have been problemsome in the past, but he's got a loyal fan base, just like she has a loyal group of people that stick by her. And the fact that she can go out in public and be herself and people leave her alone, I feel like that's just an amazing thing that she could actually do that. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you agree with what she had to say? Because it's like she's saying she's a forgotten R&B singer. Maybe she might be forgotten in mainstream circles, but at the end of the day, she's still. I was like, I gotta adjust this microphone. At the end of the day, she still has a successful career. She's got a steady career. She can still put out music. She can still go out and tour, and she can still go out and when she's done with the shows and performing and the career stuff, she could actually go out, kick her feet up, as she said, and live her best life, and people leave her alone. Who wouldn't want to have that life? Nobody wants to be isolated and surrounded by security and all these people and you're in a crowded room feeling all like lonely and you don't have anybody that you really can confide in and you're always paranoid or whatever the case is. So let me know what because all of this it's all the smoke and mirrors, that's all it is at the end of the day. But as long as if you don't have family, if you don't have real people that you can count on, what's the point? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, hold on. Onyx says, I'm sure she's satisfied not being an A-list household name, but Monica low-key set herself up to be in position where she's forgotten by being so shy in the limelight compared to Brandy or Beyonce. It's not. I'm not quite sure forgotten is the right word. Underappreciated, definitely. Well, yeah, I think she definitely is underappreciated. Yeah, it's better to be at her status. Maybe at a younger age, she cared or wanted it. Then she probably realized it ain't that important. Absolutely, because once you get a taste of what and start seeing things, it's like, nah, I'm good. I ain't compromising my soul. I'm not having to suck no producer's dick for a beat. Like, I'm not doing all of that. Because Monica look like you try to shove a dick in her mouth without her permission, she'll bite the shit off. Cause don't mess with Gunica, because we know how she get. So After the Storm is still one of the greatest albums of all time. Too bad critics barely acknowledge Monica or her impact on an artist such as Ariana, SZA, and Rihanna. Yeah, I know a lot of people want to give it's Brandy, 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 but there's girls out here who live for Monica too and have been inspired by her. That's not the best word. Underrated, low key. If I were her, I would take Modest and own the fuck out of it. Yeah, I was like, fuck modesty. You better own your shit. If you know you good, pop your collar. There's somebody that who was that? Oh, T.S. Madison, I think, does that. Where it's like on her Outlaws podcast, she'll like, no, you ain't gotta come in here with the modesty. We gonna hype you up and show like you are that bitch. Whether you male, female, whatever. Like, don't sit and just try to act all modest in the situation. Own your shit. And there should be nothing wrong with coming in and just owning the fact that, yeah, I did all these things. I built this career where I am now, and you want them to appreciate. You want to let them know that you know what you did all of this, and I appreciate you for who you are, and you should own it. It's not a negative. Excuse me. To pop your collar. All right, y'all. So, let's get into some homosexual news. Let's talk about the GLAAD Media Awards. I would have talked about the other awards. What was it? The Actor Awards. I'm like, child, I don't care about this. We're gonna talk about the gays over here, or what the gays is listening to, or what the gays is watching, and all this other stuff. So apparently, the GLAAD Media Awards is supposed to be airing sometime this year. I think in like was it May, March, or April, whatever. By the time I get to the article, whatever the case is, I'll know the exact date. But anyway, so there's a couple of shows or whatever. As you can see, Kiss of the Spider Woman was nominated, Heated Rivalry, which everybody is obsessed with, and a lot of people are talking about, and even the Straights. Shout out to all the people out there that are loving up on that show. But the nominations for the 36th annual GLAAD Media Awards have been revealed, and they honor fair, accurate, and inclusive representation of the Leviticua community in film, not MTV, TV, music, video games, podcasts, journalism, and more. We'll go through a couple of them. I'm not going to sit and go through all of them. But vying for Outstanding Wide Release Film Prize of Blue Moon, not Christy, child. Clown in a Cornfield, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, The History of Sound, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Was there any homosexuals in that movie? I mean, I know there was some little homoeroticism, but why the hell would y'all put that movie on there anyway? Kiss of the Spider Woman, On Swift Horses, Twin List, which I just heard is finally coming to Hulu next week, and The Wedding Banquet. Now, which I think that's a lesbian movie. Up for the limited release award are Cactus Pears, Fairyland, Griffin in Summer, I Wish You All the Best, A Nice Indian Boy, Plain Clothes, Pony Boy, The Queen of My Dreams, Young Hearts, and Sorry Baby. Now, winners will be feted at the 37th annual GLAAD Media Awards ceremony on March 5th in LA. The group does not present awards for acting. But that's dumb. I do wonder who's going to be hosting. Now, they said Netflix leads the way among distributors and network streamers with 23 nominations, followed by the combined HBO Max with 14, Apple TV with 11, and Hulu with 9. Among the winners for TV, music, and other media categories at last year's 36th GLAAD Media Award were Hacks, Agatha All Along, Baby Reindeer, Doshi, Will and Harper, The View, RuPaul's Drag Race, The Advocate, and NBC News. Now, I think we already went through Outstanding Film Wide Release, Outstanding Film Limited Release. We don't need to go through that. Outstanding Film, 10 Dance for Netflix, The Christmas Baby for Hallmark Channel, Echo Valley Apple TV, Hedda. I think that's the movie with oh my god, what the hell is that girl's name? The one that played Valkyrie. in the MCU movies. Tessa Thompson. I don't know why it didn't come to me. Hedda from Amazon MGM Studios, A Killer Christmas Vacation, Noah's Ark the movie, Oh What Fun, Old Guard 2, The Parenting, Queen of Coal. I hope it goes to Noah's Ark, even though that last Noah's Ark movie was kind of corny. But the Old Guard 2 was terrible. I don't know why y'all put that on there. But I guess anything with any kind of queer representation, we just giving it to some stuff. Outstanding documentary that Amy Bradley is missing. Come see me in the good light. Enigma, heightened security. I'm Your Venus. I'm Your Venus was good. I think it should go to that because it was about Venus extravaganza and her family trying to find out who unalived their sister. That was a good one. So I hope it goes to that. All these other ones I didn't see. Oh wait, they got Pee Wee as himself in here. So it's going to be between them. I would say Pee Wee as himself, which I'll probably give it to that. But I'm Your Venus, I think should get it because it was about the iconic Venus extravaganza. Outstanding new TV series. They have Boots for Netflix, Chad Powers for Hulu. What's gay about that? I haven't seen it, but I know Glenn Powell's in it, and it's probably that's why they nominated it. Then they got Clean Slate for Prime Video, The Four Seasons for Netflix, Heated Rivalry for HBO Max, The Hunting Wives on Netflix, I Love LA on HBO. Well, that'd be interesting because remember one of the guys from I Love LA was throwing shade at Heated Rivalry. So that'd be interesting to have all them in the room. The long story short for Netflix, Mid-Century Modern, which was not a good show, and it only lasted one season, on Hulu. Overcompensating on Prime Video, and this last show, Pluribus, that's on Apple TV. I've heard so many things about it, but everybody keeps saying it's boring. I haven't seen it. Outstanding comedy series, Abbott Elementary, Big Boys, Ghosts, Hacks, Has Been Hotel, Loot, Palm Royale, The Righteous Gemstones, Survival of the Thickest, and The Upshores. Then we have outstanding drama series, Brilliant Minds, The Buccaneers, Doctor Who, The Gilded Age, The Last of Us, Power Book 2, Raising Canaan. Who on there is gay? The Sandman, Severance, Stranger Things, and Yellow Jackets. Then they have outstanding limited or anthology series, The Beast and Me, Chief of War. I actually saw that. That's when you see a lot of Jason Momoa's butt. Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy for Peacock, Howlin' Harper for Mubi, Hotel Reverie, Black Mirror for Netflix, Lost Boys and Fairies for BritBox, Mr. Loverman Shaba for BritBox, Nine Perfect Strangers for Hulu, Prime Target on Apple TV, and Wayward for Netflix. Then we got outstanding. Okay, like I said, we're not going through all these. I'm gonna just go into the reality stuff, and then we're gonna get to the music, and then we done. So, outstanding reality program, Back to the Frontier, Magnolia Network, House on Fire, BET Plus, Jay and Pamela from TLC, June Farms, Prime Video, Love on the Spectrum, Netflix. Is that people who got the tism that's looking for love? Next Gen NYC for Bravo, Selling Sunset for Netflix, Southern Charm for Bravo, Southern Hospitality for Bravo, and The Ultimatum Queer Love on Netflix. Then we have Outstanding Reality Competition Program, American Ninja Warrior for NBC, The Boulay Brothers Dracula Titans from AMC Plus and Shudder, Dancing with the Stars, ABC, Finding Mr. Christmas, Hallmark Plus. I didn't even know Hallmark had a plus. I Kissed the Boy on Hulu, I Kissed the Girl on Hulu, Project Runway on Freeform, of course, RuPaul's Drag Race on MTV, The Traitors on Peacock, and The Voice on NBC. That's going to be a tough one because I love Dragula, I love Drag Race, and I love The Traitors. Project Runway, I'm glad they're back. Hated that last season, especially who the person they gave it to is the winner. So I don't want them to get it on account of that. But and then Dance with the Stars had a big resurgence this year. But if it was up to me, it's going to be between The Traitors, RuPaul's Drag Race, and the Boulay Brothers. But it might go to The Traitors. But I hope it goes to Dracula because Dracula, y'all be sleeping on that show. And then we have, let's look for music artists. Outstanding music artist, Conan Gray, Wishbone, Duran Bernard. Oh, wait a minute now. Now, you know I live for Duran Bernard. His music be hidden. So, and Conan Gray, I liked his album. So I don't know. I want it between those two. Then we have Elton John and Brandy Carlisle, Who Believes in Angels. Then we have Ethel Cain, Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You. That's on Daughters of Cain. Then we have G Flip, Dream Ride, Lady Gaga, Mayhem, Maren Morris, Dreamsicle, Renee Rapp, Bite Me, Ty Herndon, 30, Volume 1, and Young Miko, Do Not Disturb. So those are your nominations for Outstanding Music Artist. And then we have Outstanding Breakthrough Music Artist. Amari, is it Amari? I guess it is because it ain't gonna be no A Marie. We already got an A Marie. So it's Amari, Chris Houseman, Destin Conrad, Eli, Frankie Grande, Guitar Cadella Fuente. Guitarica de la Fuente. Who's that? I never heard of that. That name sounds familiar. Cat's Eye, Shy Girl, Snow Wife. Okay, that's cunt. Snow Wife and Wet Leg. And then we got Outstanding Broadway Production, Liberation, Oedipus, Purpose, Redwoods. Okay. These other people I don't know. And then they got podcasts. Mine ain't on here, but whatever. So they got Bald and the Beautiful, Las Culturistas, The Daily Beans Podcast, Handsome Podcast, Outlaws with T.S. Madison, The Read, Shut Up Evan, So True with Caleb, Tactful Pettiness, and We Can Do Hard Things. Oh, we sure can. So then they got special podcast episodes and a whole bunch of other stuff. But if y'all care, y'all can definitely go and look that up on the channels or on social media and stuff. So based off of what I said to you in some of the categories I read, because we'll be here all night trying to read all them damn categories. I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think? Oh wait, I didn't even look up I didn't even look up the one with Jennifer Lopez and her nomination, because Kiss of the Spider Woman was nominated, but who cares, I guess. But I do like the fact that Jennifer, had the Broadway inspiration with the Kiss of the Spider Woman, and she incorporated on that residency. So yeah, based off of what you've heard, what are some of your choices of who you would like to win in some of the categories that I brought up? So whatever your thoughts are on the matter, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, hold on. Not Tracy Spencer, child. That Tracy Spencer has been performing a lot the last couple of years too. Shanice got her back into performing. But we taking it back. I still do not F with GLAAD after. Oh, please. I don't particularly care about GLAAD either. I just wanted to read the nominations because, yeah, when I went, I already told y'all, Latrice hates me because of that whole post that I went out there and put about her and them Zionist allegations. And she went and sent me a message, a private message. And when I went to go read it, it wasn't there no more. So, because a certain somebody who I think commented in the comments, is Joe Vaughn up in here? No. What it said, oh no, I'm reading Alvarez Carmageddon. No, that was somebody else. So yeah, Joe Vaughn went and tagged her in something I said, and she went and tried to go in on me. I was like, well, damn, wait a minute. Let me at least come in and read what you said before you removed it. So that we could have responded to the situation because they was at GLAAD and they had that whole little, remember when the protesters came out and was calling them a bunch of Zionists and all this other mess? And she was like, oh girl, like that whole situation that went on. I try to be getting I don't be meaning to get into it with some of these people. It just happens. He said that it's the Jennifer. Speaking of rivalry, Hudson Williams had to delete his letterbox and social media. He's basically being forced to hide where his openly gay or bi content is being left alone. I don't know why they picking on Hudson. We know because he was outed as being straight. Kind of story, I do think it's family, and I'm not outing him, but there's certain things that have been kind of percolating, and so I'm like, you're part of the community. Just like Francois is bisexual, but he been came out and told people that. Sam Lasky wrote, "I Know What You Did Last Summer." Okay, and don't forget the lesbian hookup. Oh yeah, there was a. You're right. I saw that movie once and forgot about it. So yeah, there was one of the girls that was in there that hooked up with the girl that was a podcaster or whatever. They had a little fling, and she ended up in the bathroom at in the airport. Okay. There was a whole lesbian same sex situation that went down. I totally forgot. Thank you for the reminder. I never saw I Love LA, but I remember the only thing I knew, I didn't even know about the show until the guy who I was a part of the show went and made that comment about heated rivalry. Twinless was surprisingly good. Best to go in completely. Yeah, I don't want to know what. I mean, I know there's allegedly a situation of Dylan O'Brien hooking up with a dude in the movie. That's all I know about it. But I don't want to know like what happened because I've been wanting to catch it. But now that I know it's coming to Hulu, I'm like, when it pops up there, I'm gonna definitely watch it. Not participation trophy awards. He said all these celebrities sound terrible to me, especially Hilary Duff, Ashley Tisdale, Christy Romano, all trying to remain relevant with their rich mom problems. There could be some truth to that. All right, y'all. Let me see. Okay, so we down to our final four topics of the night. So before we get to our final four, if you could please do me, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Also hit that notification, subscribe, do all that good stuff, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Now, without further ado, please and thank you. Let's get into this gig. Let's talk about season 18. So the numbers are in for RuPaul's Drag Race season 18, and it looks like, it seems like we talk about this every year, but they're saying that Drag Race has had their best numbers in a while. All-time ratings record. So shout out to y'all. So the grand premiere of RuPaul's Drag Race season 18 has broken yet another all-time record after delivering the highest season premiere rating and share for 18 to 49 in the history of the drag competition show. I'm so glad I'm still a part of that demographic, the 18 to 40. It's like, damn, once I hit 50, I'm like, fuck, I'm out. They're gonna have to put me out the pasture. So, hold on, where was I? Because after I did that read on myself, like I lost my place. Okay, so they said Drag Race season 18, episode 1, which aired on MTV a week ago, introduced fans to an all-new group of 14 queens and featured special guest judge, extra special guest judge, gotta put that in there, Bacalis Almanganzar, whatever how the fuck you say her name, Cardi B. Not only was this Drag Race premiere the #1 cable entertainment telecast of the day, Friday, January 2nd, but it also grew double digits in ratings then when compared to season 17, as originally reported by Deadline. Now, breaking it on down, up 17% on People 18 to 49 ratings, 0.674 in comparison to season 17, which had 0.577. Up 32% from on People 18 to 49 share 3.62 in comparison to season 17, 2.75. Now, ratings are no longer, as we should say, the end-all be-all measurement for TV shows in 2026, as seen through viral moments on shows like The Voice, American Idol, late-night programs, SNL, Big Brother, and beyond. Social engagement as of 2026 is just as important to measure a show's success. But I've been saying, I'm like, it ain't always about the ratings. It's also about people interacting with each other on social media, be it be live chats or live streams or TikTok, or even like, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but Twitter, there's still that engagement in regards of shows trending and all that other stuff. So they also said, fortunately, the grand premiere of Drag Race season 18 also delivered on social media, 24 million views, up 6% from season 17, and 1 million engagements. As a result, the season 18 premiere was the #1 most social episode of the day on television. So I think it's also because it was Cardi B being the guest judge, and also I don't know if we can even throw this in, but I'm gonna just say it. I think also because of this stuff with Nicki Minaj and Erica Kirk, and also Nicki Minaj a couple of seasons ago being the premiere judge on, what was it, season 12? So that's 6 seasons later. And then you have Cardi B coming in with the fashions and the way they sold the trailer. It looked interesting. And this was a really good episode. The premiere was a very strong episode. I'm glad they decided to do a fashion challenge rather than your standard talent show, because it's always the same crap over and over. It's always you got to do some bangy ass track and they talk about, oh, give me the crown or whatever corniness they write it up in these. So a lot of these drag race or these drag songs that these girls become, I was like, pay it. Nobody want to hear that shit. So in a way, I'm kind of glad they didn't do the talent show thing. I'm glad it took it back to the old school version of drag. Let's do a unconventional fashion challenge. That should probably be the thing every year. So and then plus with Cardi coming in and being as honest as what she was saying, very forthcoming and very much honest of what she was saying. We was living for it. And Cardi is a personality, whether however you want to slice it. She is somebody who very much has she's silly, she's funny, she has a great personality. So she's perfect for like coming on and judging a drag show. So I think all those factors played in, and plus, like I said before, with the whole Nikki thing, with all that controversy surrounding her, people kind of wanted to say, okay, let's see what Cardi's given compared to what Nikki gave during when she was a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, and if she brings it, look, she shot this episode a year ago, so we don't necessarily. Well, yeah, a year like in when they shoot it, like April or something of last year. So they shot it earlier than usual. Normally they would do it in the summer, but no, they shot that in like March or April. So it's almost been a year that they shot it. So all of this other stuff wasn't going on then, but we're starting to see it now. So I'm definitely curious. This may be a great number for them. I want to see if they can maintain it, or tomorrow's Friday. Yeah. So tomorrow's episode, when next week comes, I want to see how those numbers are on the second episode versus, has it fallen off a little bit, or did they still maintain it, or did it grow because of that last guest, because of the whole the premiere. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding this news about Drag Race breaking an all times ratings record? It's it don't seem like, as much as we love drag and all this other stuff, and as much people complain about Drag Race, it seems like people can't live without this show. People are still loving it. It's still going strong. It's still building in the ratings department, and it has no chance of slowing down anytime soon. So it looks like y'all on the right track. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh, what's the topic? Oh, damn, I got a lot of messages. I just noticed in my Salt and Pepper's lawsuit. Okay, we'll definitely I'll definitely save that. All right, y'all. So now let's get into some more drag news or drag race news. And let's talk about UK versus the world. So season 3 is officially on its way. We got the official tissue announcement earlier today. They did a Meet the Queens. I'm sure a lot of people have already done their citations in regards of which queens is going to be a part of the show and all this other stuff. I was looking for some of these promo photos. We'll go through those in a second. But let's get into the tea. So, following in the footsteps of RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World Season 1, which came out in 2022, and Season 2, which came out in 2024, Season 3 is coming to our screens in just a few days' time. The BBC has confirmed that the first episode will air on Tuesday, January 27th at 9 p.m. on BBC Three and BBC iPlayer. I'm sure they have in here when it's going to air on Wow Presents Plus, because that's how I watch it. As with season 1 and 2, season 3 of the series features a cast crammed full of international divas, including 3 Drag Race UK stars, a fan favorite for one season, Wonder Drag Race Sphere, Drag Race Sweden, child, and a 3-time returning American queen, which I was actually happy when I saw her. Now, these are the 10 queens vying to stand alongside Blue Hydrangea and Tia Coffee in being named the queen of the mother-tucking world. Well, speaking of, hold on, I'm gonna put up the cast photo as we go through these, and we might do a whole slideshow situation. Hold on, because there was another picture that I wanted to bring up too that I was living for. Like I was definitely loving Rue's gown. She had like a red gown that she wore in the situation that I was like, I was living for it. Okay, I just want to make sure I have everything situated before we get into this tea. So I'm gonna leave this picture up, and then we're just gonna go through all the queens, and then we'll do a slideshow of all their separate photos. So the first queen that we have that's gonna be up in here is Fontana from Drag Race Sweden, where she was a runner-up on the first and only season of the show, losing out on the crown to Admira Pussy and just beating Global All Stars Vanity Vane. So we have her, and she's a Brazilian queen. So shout out to her. Then we got Yes God Land. You know, I don't know. Whenever I see God Land from Drag Race Thailand, I always want to call her Yes God because like it's we can't help it. So she is from season 3 of Drag Race Thailand, which aired in late 2024. She finished as a third, fourth place runner up, and she also snatched 2 challenge wins on her season in the Rusical and the Makeover, and even landed in the bottom 2 on the show. And she, even though she narrowly missed out on the crown, she's definitely going to come in, trying to fight for that crown, and we'll see if she's able to do it. Now, our first UK queen that's coming back is Kate Butch from season 5, and she is a fan favorite, so everybody's gonna be looking forward to seeing her coming in with the show. I mean, being a part of the show. And she has like a campy aesthetic, and she's very witty, and she grabbed the challenge win before her unceremonious elimination in the show's switchboard makeover episode, and which was crazy because I'm like, if the show was for charity, I wouldn't have eliminated anybody. So I was kind of mad over the fact that they did that, but whatever. She was also the final victor of the season's lip sync assassin, Dee Licious. So, without Crystal Versace's drag mother in the house, she could have had a clear shot at the victory as one of the 3 UK girls competing. Then, of course, when they said a fan favorite from the America side, who I'm happy about, Mariah Paris Balenciaga, it was on the show. She's from, season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race and All Stars 5. I love when she was on All Stars 5, and I hated the fact when she had to sashay away in that episode. But it is what it is. So Mariah, as y'all know, put her stamp on the third ever season of RuPaul's Drag Race in 2011. That was damn near 15 years ago. Child, I can't believe we up in here just like with these we almost had 20 years of Drag Race on TV. And because it's like we currently in season 18. I'm like, damn, I feel old. In the head, not physically. But anyway, so they said where she placed 8th. She then returned to All Stars 5 and placed 8th again. Hopefully, and then so a lot of people was mad when she got eliminated on All Stars. I understand like her regular season of Drag Race, but All Stars I was tight when she got eliminated because I love me some Mariah. Mariah's gorgeous. She brought the fashions and eleganza. She's a pageant girl, so I was upset when she got chopped. But here's hoping that third time's a charm, that she can make it further than place an 8th on UK versus the world. So I hope she don't make it there. Now, another queen that I'm really excited about that's coming back, and y'all know I be referencing her a lot on this show, especially when I be talking about Canada's Drag Race. We are talking about our season 4 queen, Mylinda Verga. So I was excited when I saw this situation and I saw that she was coming back to compete on another Drag Race. I thought it would have been Canada versus the world, but no, she's doing UK versus the world. So Miss Mama, who had us all feeling our goats during her season, and how she won Snatch Game during that season and was getting into it with a lot of the queens during Untucked, where she came in 5th place. She didn't get to make it in the finale, but the thing, I heard that she was also on the Traitors in Canada. She had competed on that. So, I love for Mylene the Verga. I'm looking forward to her being on the show and seeing what drama she will be bringing to this show. Now, our next queen that we have is Minty Fresh from Drag Race Philippines season 1. And she's another queen who plays 5th on her season. She's following the footsteps of season 2 fan favorite Marina Summers by bringing Filipino drag excellence to the UK. And we don't need to get her confused with Sminty, who I believe also is competing on this show. So we got, Sminty Bop, or whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah, Sminty Drop. I knew it was something. Sminty Drop is on the show, and then we got Minty Fresh. I hope we don't get these girls confused. But she's gonna bring the fierceness because Minty brings full on tilapia, fish down when it comes to her drag. A lot of the lady boys over there in the Philippines, they be bringing it, my people. So Serena Morena from Drag Race Mexico season 1. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not really that familiar with Mexico. I was never really like a watcher of that show, so I can't really, speak on how Serena did. But according to the report, she made history by appearing on the inaugural season of Drag Race Mexico, and also by spending 4 out of her 5 episodes on the show either being in the bottom 2 or low. And the queen who's from Aguas Calientes was also judged by Valentina, meaning she's already had a taste of some stern words from a drag glamazon. So she's ready to she's ready for Rue. Is Michelle gonna be on that show too? And Reese, right? Trying to remember who does the oh wait, no, it's UK. That would be Graham Norton and Alan Carr, Chatty Man. I love his show. Now, speaking of Sminty, she is the next queen, another Drag Race UK girl. She's from season 4, and she was one of the look queens of the season. And she was eliminated. She made it to 9th place, though she didn't manage to nab a challenge win. She was in the top twice before her elimination, and also got a mini challenge win. And her first 2 runways on the season are unbeatable. So we definitely know with her being on the show, she's definitely gonna be bringing the fashions if she's a fashion girl. And then we have the only Naomi from Drag Race Germany season 1. If you were wondering whether there were any Naomis in the Drag Race universe, this queen is your answer. She's the only one. She's one of one. Well, there's Naomi Smalls, so we can't say she's the only Naomi. Now, she appeared on the first and only season of German drag-centric spinoff Drag Race Germany, and was eliminated in 10th place by Global All Stars' Tessa Testicle. Well, here's the thing, girl. You can't be out there calling yourself the only Naomi, and you was like out early. So now they said she was safe for the 2 episodes before elimination, meaning that her only critiques were negative ones. So look, if you're gonna return to this show, you definitely gonna have to bring it and show that you've evolved since being on that show. I couldn't get into Drag Race Germany, and I guess many of y'all couldn't either because it only lasted 1 season. And last but certainly not least, a girl that I have mentioned on this show quite a few times, Zahira, is on the show, Zabanta, from Drag Race UK season 6. So Zahira came in 10th place on her show. And, she left the workroom after competing on Drag Race UK season 6. She's ready for a Rudo. So Zahira charmed viewers and her fellow cast during her criminally short time on the show before surprisingly stumbling into the bottom of the girl group challenge. Well, here's the thing. I live for Zahira. I'm looking forward to seeing what she brings to the show. She was one of my faves on the show. And I'm like, no, y'all chopped her too early. But that line where she said, let me come in you during a recording session for the track in front of Alexander Burke. And I love that episode when they had Alexander Burke on the show and they were recording the song with her and all that other. Well, she was like, how like Michelle sits in the chair and she sits there and then they record the track, whatever. That was a cute little situation, but she ain't last long. So I do, like I said before, I have the overall slideshow. Let's go through those real quick for those of you who haven't seen. All of their individual photos of the queens that we all mentioned. So let's go through those real quick. I was like, you better clear up. The gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. But here's the thing: the Mariah picture right here. You thought it was this big one. I'm like, I don't know that. You looking whiter than usual. It don't look like it's blended. It look a little cray cray. But there goes my Linda. Come on, fashion fish. And so, yeah, the girls are definitely bringing it this season. Come on, fashion. That's giving me that Bimini wig that she got on. And so, yeah, those are the girls. And then, last but certainly not least, I definitely want to bring up this picture. Hold on a second. Because this RuPaul photo, I thought, okay, I'm living for this look. So this photo right here, I was like, yes, I'm living for this gown and the little cape over the shoulder cape, like the one sleeve and the thing. Like this looks good on her. It's giving old school, very Diana Ross. Like it's definitely giving that. This is the stuff I like seeing RuPaul in. I know, like when I finally got around to watching that Roscoe's episode, they were talking about, oh yeah, that Ru must be watching Roscoe's and all those because they were real critical of Ru's fashions last season, and rightfully so because she was looking a mess last. I don't know, was there no budget this time around? In the words of Gia Gunn, when it came to the fashions. But one of the things I will say about that was that I didn't particularly like I told her, I don't like that whole belt look. We already did it was giving Timu. We already said like Brooklyn Heights wore it better. It made Ru look bigger. But I get it. She's in her 60s, mid 60s. So I guess we don't want to be too hard on her. But it's just that you were given the young look. And I don't think that drag queens supposed to just dress. Oh, dress your age. Like we ain't gonna do the ages thing. I just didn't think the outfit worked for her. So I'm glad the fashion is getting better. But to me, this gown looks way better than that episode 1 look that we just saw on Driver. Now, if you want to continue to come out and give that sexy short skirt thing, and we've seen Rue in some short skirts where she looks fierce. I mean, she's worn a lot in her career. Just that first episode one with the belt dress or whatever that Brooklyn Heights wore first on Canada's Drag Race just looked way better than me. But I'm definitely looking for this look right here. I'm definitely living for that look. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Does this group of girls got you excited? It's like some of them are like, but there's some on this show that I know is like, okay, I'm here for them. They're gonna bring the drama. I'm here for all the, what's gonna happen. UK versus the world definitely is going to be a key this season, and I'm looking forward to every single moment when it airs. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Sailor Mermaids in the building. How you doing? How you doing? I mean, it's in the nicest way possible, but I think I'll pass on this season. I'm rooting for Sminty and Serena Marina. They are still the same from when I last saw them. I am excited for Mariah until I saw her meet the Queen segment. Rue looks good in the promo, but the cast photo is a child. Yeah, that's what I say. She looks good in the promo, and I'm living for that look. I didn't particularly, funny enough, I didn't like the promo for uh the season 18 Drag Race, but I do like the overall look for the others for the UK versus the world. I have heard that Cutie. Oh yeah, Will Poulter's on the show. I saw that too. First of all, I love me some Will Poulter. I'm like, that boy grew up to be cute. The body is bodying. Before we wasn't looking twice at his ass, but I'm like, okay, how you doing? um You said, oh yeah. So I'm looking forward to Anastasia. I love Anastasia. I always felt like Anastasia was just done dirty by this business. So I live for her. I'm looking forward to seeing her judge the show. Not you having drama at work. Well, I don't have those issues. Well, I can't say that because one time I told y'all I did threaten to beat a coworker ass. Well, not a coworker in my department. It was another one. I was like, I can't be out here threatening to beat people up. So, um, drama come flama. All right, y'all. So now let's get into more homosexual news. And let's talk about heated rivalry. So, of course, everybody is loving heated rivalry. The women are loving it. The gays are loving it. Even straight people, guys, are loving it. I'm even starting to see YouTube commentators like Greg Alba, who I love me some Greg Alba because I like Real Rejects and all the stuff. They've been doing a rewatch of the episodes of Heated Rivalry and be up in there crying and loving it. And he is happily married to a woman. Like, so shout out to the straight people who are open-minded enough that they could appreciate the gay shows without acting like corny ass closet case Andrew Scholes, where y'all gotta go, ooh, oh my god, why are you showing me that? I'm like, what are you, 2? Like, grow the fuck up. And even 2-year-olds wouldn't even respond to that. They only respond in those ways because you live in a homophobic household and they tell you that this is how you need to respond to stuff. So shout out to all the allies and everybody who's out there enjoying this show. Not Miley Cyrus, because Miley Cyrus want to jump on the bandwagon and record a song for a show she ain't watched. But nevertheless, Hudson Williams, who is on the show, recently spoke out about I think he went and did an interview with all people, Andy Cohen, on his Radio Andy show, and basically revealed that he has had closeted athletes hit him up and tell them their stories about what it's like being in the closet and an athlete. So the 24-year-old told Andy Cohen on an upcoming episode of Sirius XM's Andy Cohen Live, airing on today, January 8th, saying it's definitely the people who reach out somewhat anonymously who are like, I'm still a professional player, still, and I'm in the closet. Williams said in a clip released ahead of the episode. Williams confirmed that he's heard from closeted hockey, football, and basketball players when Cohen followed up, saying they're reaching out to Rachel Reed, our author, who will then relay these lovely anonymous emails. Sometimes they're reaching out privately, though, through Instagram. So if they're sending private email, I'm sure you could probably do the tracing and figure out who they are. But I don't think let's not out them. I wouldn't want to know. I mean, me being nosy, I would want to know who they. But everybody needs to come out in their own time. I just feel like if people were more open-minded when it regards to gays and sports, because you have to realize not every gay person is a stereotype or someone that's clockable or someone that is, they do drag or they do hair, makeup, or whatever the case is. There are some gay guys who play football, who play baseball, who play basketball, who play hockey, who play all kinds of athletic stuff, who are in the UFC, who are boxers, who do all these things, but they can't come out because the image is all about machismo or whatever the case is. And if we know that homosexuals like sports and go to sports events, then why would anybody be surprised that there are athletes that also are part of the Leviticua community? So he said those ones are the ones that really hit you and go, oh, so this is a fun show and it's celebratory, but also sometimes it's just hitting people right in the nerves. But I always said that. I was like, not only do I feel like this show, Heated Rivalry, will do for this generation what Chris Folk did for my generation, I also feel like because you're talking about athletes and homosexuality and the fact that there are closeted people in sports, and this is something that they're dealing with, hopefully they'll dive more into that side with season 2 instead of just relying on the sexual scenes. I mean, don't get me wrong, the sex scenes is good too, but I want a little more of that deep conversation regarding like what it's like being an athlete and closeted and what they have to deal with and the sneaking around. Also, I mean, we saw a bit of the sneaking around, a lot of the sneaking around in the show, but the fact that there are athletes out there that are secretly watching the show when it's resonating with them and they're like, oh yeah, these are things that I'm going through, and I'm reaching out to these people being like, yeah, I'm going through this stuff too, and thank you. And maybe what also they could put up in there is kind of be a closeted consultant, which is like, oh, this is not realistic. This is what you should probably incorporate in the show to make it more realistic. Who knows? Maybe they're just at this point just revealing how they feel and how the show makes them feel and what they're going through, hiding who they are, but they're just one of the top whatever in the world. Because I'm sure some of y'all fave basketball players, baseball players, football players, they like to ping, and they going around sneaking around and messing with people and having to have them sign NDAs and keeping it like, trust and believe it exists. Now, Williams also touched on commentary that the show is helping dismantle toxic masculinity, sharing his frustrations with some of the assumptions people can make, saying, quote, what's always been something that frustrates me or frustrated me, not even with like other men, but also just there's a lot of taboos around exploring physical intimacy with people you admire and love without people, especially in Western culture, being like, oh, they're fucking, they're doing this. I just was always frustrated by these kinds of notions, especially with Connor's story, who I love dearly. It was something I was always adamant that no matter what people think or want to infer, I'm always going to just physically express my love. I feel like if you're still biased or jaded or uncomfortable with expressing physical love for people in 2025, you got to just fucking, get over yourself. I agree with that because I was watching a GQ interview with him and Connor, and he would put his hand on his leg, and they were like being very intimate with each other, and not in a way where it's like sexual. It's just it shouldn't be looked at as a negative or a taboo if young men are showing affection towards each other. Like when when I work in these sports events and stuff, I see like when the guys have had a couple of beers, I'm not saying they damn near screwing each other, but you see a lot of when they drink and they relax a little bit, they're being very affectionate with their friends or whatever. And it's not a gay thing. And I don't think people should look at it as a gay, unless you start seeing them tonguing each other down and eat each other's ass in the rows of which I'm working at MSG, then we can sit up and say they gay. But for the most part, I like the fact that men younger guys are feeling more comfortable being intimate with their friends, smacking them on the butt, being very engaging with the sports and all that stuff, which is what they do in sports anyway, smacking each other on the butt and stuff. So we got to stop looking at everything as being a sexual thing, or because that's where our mind goes with stuff. And it's more or less embedded in Western culture. If you go outside in the world to other places, they're very much affectionate and very open, and they're not always all about, oh, you're in my space. I need space. You know how some people get with all of that? Where it's like, oh, if you're a little too close to people, they get all like, what you trying to do? So y'all need to relax with that. And that's what's because it's embedded in our culture, the religion and all that other mess, that we're all more accepting of violent things happening, but intimacy is a negative. So Hudson has been making his rounds as of late. He recently showed up, I think last night, he was on Jimmy Fallon. And Connor's story, I believe, is going to be at the Golden Globes along with Hudson. They're going to be presenting at the Golden Globes. We already saw that Heated Rivalry was nominated for a GLAAD award. The show is definitely breaking boundaries. And I'm hoping that with the success of this show, because we've been talking so much on here about so many queer-based shows are getting canceled, but to be honest, a lot of those shows that were coming around, I kind of found them boring. So it's no shade. I kind of see why a lot of those shows got canceled. But to me, it's like the first. I mean, Heated Rivalry is the first show I feel like in a long time that's queer coded, or queer based. I can't say queer coded. There's nothing coded about it. It's like in your face, but a queer centric show that has me interested is hot guys, lots of sex, and sports. So that's up my alley. So I just hope that we get, with the success of Heated Rivalry, that we get to see more shows like this getting made. I'm not saying it got to be now we got to make a show about closeted basketball players or another show about closeted UFC fighters. I'm not saying we got to do that. But if we can get shows that unapologetically showing men being intimate with each other, but also different stories revolving different aspects of the queer community that kind of follows the formula of that. It don't have to be rooted in sports. If you want to bring the sex and all other stuff in, because people who don't like sex, even though a lot of people be out here thumbing their nose at the stuff, I know y'all be watching. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of what Hudson had to say? I mean, to be honest, I'm not surprised that people would be reaching out to him and Connor and the person who wrote the books and telling them their stories or whatever. I'm not surprised by that. I would expect that a lot of them would do that based off of the success of the show and how the show resonates. And who knows? I'm thinking like Sean Avery might be right. When he was more optimistic, even though I know a lot of people don't like Sean Avery because of stuff he's done in the past, but he was the one that was kind of being more or less a champion for a show like Heated Rivalry, where there was that other athlete, I can't remember, who I believe was a hockey player and he was out and no longer is out, where he wasn't as enthusiastic. He was I guess, cautiously optimistic, but kind of teetered more on the negative in regards to what he had to say. So I'm, as much as this Republican or this Trump administration be trying to hate on the gays and the LGBTs in general, we ain't going nowhere. And I hope that this show helps break this stigma regarding athletes and homosexuality. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Ooh, child of ghetto. Okay, let me see. What is the people saying? I hate it that it bugs me that not all the Heated Rivalry actors are queer. I actually don't mind that it's a mixed bag of people, that we have some queer people on there, some that aren't, because I don't want it to be a situation that you have to be LGBT in order to play the role. Because there are a lot of queer people who want to be able to play straight parts and play these other things. And I don't want the industry to kind of just pigeonhole um, a queer actor into only playing one thing. So whoever's good for the role is good for the role. But I do think that Connor is part of our community, though. He said, shout out to the straight boys loving this show. It was a surprise to see them on my YouTube feed, too. Now I feel like a bad gay for no. Well, there's still time. The show is over. You can finish. You can watch the show. I feel bad because I haven't watched The Pit yet, and the new season starts tonight. And it just got renewed for season 3 before season 2 even came out. Maybe I'm just so invested in Stranger Things right now, but I have no interest in watching Heat of Rivalry. I remember when Heartstopper came out and everyone was talking about it, but I do not get. Well, funny enough, when Heartstopper came out, I didn't care either because I just felt like I couldn't resonate with Heartstopper. Heartstopper felt a little too Disney after school special to me, so it never resonated. Heat of Rivalry feels grown because you got athletes in their 20s who are not in school, they're adults who are having a career but also just fucking. So I just feel like I can resonate with that. Gays like sports. It really is. I know that's what I said. It really is a shock. I mean, if that's the case, we wouldn't have sports bars. We have gay sports bars in New York. And not just in New York, I'm sure in other places, but I'm speaking for me because that's where I reside in New York. So we have gay sports bars. We got boxers. We have gym bar in Chelsea. I don't remember if there's any other ones. I'm sure there is, but those are the only two I can think of so far. Welcome to Derry ate up all those. Yeah, it did. I love Welcome to Derry. I hope it gets all the nominations whenever the award season comes around. But I'm thinking it has to be like later on this year. Maybe we'll hear that. That's why male loneliness is a Western conversation. Guys in other cultures are actually very affectionate with each other. Yeah, because I remember Bruno from RuPaul's Drag Race was talking about that he had to unlearn a lot of the stuff that he had grew up because in Brazil, he said men are very affectionate. And coming over to America, like American dudes are different in regards of they don't touch me. And I was like, okay, y'all be doing too much. I think and mentally, I am a little European centric because I'm very affectionate with people too. I'm sad that Boots got canceled. I mean, that could have been it. Bad Bunny hit. Say what now? What Bad Bunny do? He said his visa was banned from entering the U.S. and NFL is now scrambling. Oh, so now Trump trying to be an asshole by banning his visa. First of all, he's American. Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. So talking about banning his visa, that's bullshit. Because how you banning his visa? Puerto Rico was a part of the United States. You said the cast of Queer Soul was mostly straight, but unlike Hudson, they were able to stay what? I mean, here's the thing. There was a problem with, first of all, during the Queer Folk when they were trying to cast, I remember hearing the stories. It was hard to cast that show. It was very hard to cast that show because a lot of the agents and stuff were not wanting to send their actors out because they didn't want them associated with that. Back, people have to realize in the 2000s, we were still at a point where it was very much a career killer if you were to play a gay part. Which is why when you watch Philadelphia with Tom Hanks, you don't see any kind of intimacy with him and Antonio Banderas because it was still considered taboo. More of the independent movies in the late 90s, you could push the boundaries in regards of male on male kissing and things. But the mainstream movies, oh, that wasn't happening. Today marks 5 years since Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license dropped and changed changed the industry for those under 30. Well, shout out to her. She should be dropping new music this year. But Puerto Rico is America. That's why I said they are dumb. First of all, them trying to play in Bad Bunny face, like, go play in this administration is stupid. And that's the problem. We're in a time where people are allowing some of the most dumbest people on the planet to run the country. None of these people are qualified to be in the positions they're in, including the man in the presidency. He said, "Thank you for the clarification," because I was sitting here like, "What?" That's wait, what I miss? You said, "Thank you for the clarification." And I'll be up here read something. As soon as I read it, I'm done. Okay, so now let's get into our final topic because I was like, wait, we got more tea to spill. Let's get into this 911 show. So apparently the fans are a little upset because the showrunner on the show they feel like is queerbaiting them in regards to this whole Buddy storyline because people want Buck and Eddie to start fornicating. But apparently, they said that the producer of the show is aware of them wanting to ship them, Tim Minear, who is a one of the EPs of the show, and they feel like you just keep playing in their damn face. So the showrunner behind queer favorite procedural drama 911 has caused a stir within the fandom for comments made about the show's most shipped couple, Buddy. Speaking to the Washington Post, Tim Minear reflected on the relationship between Buck Buckley, Oliver Stark, and Eddie Diaz, played by Ryan Guzman, best pals who have long been seen by a large chunk of the fandom as lovers in waiting. Well, maybe we can go back to this thing of like what we talked about before. It's just guys who are very intimate with each other. They're just not into each other like that. But the fans been trying to ship them for so long. So the people behind the show are aware of it. And the fans think like, oh, y'all just gaslighting us at this point. So for multiple seasons now, 911 is seemingly inched towards making the pair a couple, with other characters commenting on their closeness and how they appear as a family. In season 7, Buck also realized that he is bi after kissing Tommy, played by Lou Ferrigno Jr., his now ex-boyfriend, which fueled the flames of fans wanting Buddy to become a reality. Now, in season 8, Tommy and Maddie explicitly wondered whether Buck was in love with his long-term, very close friend. However, despite the potential romance being teased time and time again, Buck and Eddie remain just immensely close buddies. Now, asked about their dynamic, Minear suggested that doesn't think 911 should focus. Okay, first of all, reading is fundamental when it comes to y'all writing. Can y'all make sure y'all proofread before y'all hit send? They said Minear suggested that doesn't think. Maybe you should say he doesn't think 911 should focus on Buck and Eddie get together, even though he considers himself a fan of them as a couple. Saying it's a very difficult subject because I love the Buddy fans and I'm one of them. It's different than Heated Rivalry, where that is the show. The show is about those two guys getting together. That's not what this show is. This will probably piss off people, but whatever. This is what I think. I think the possibility of Buddy is what's exciting. So you basically prefer edging your fan base instead of just giving the gays what they want and some women. But and it's on social media, Minear's comments have sparked both excitement and agitation among the 911 fandom, with some interpreting his latter statement that it's the idea of Buddy that is the most tantalizing as evidence that the show's creative team are queer baiting the audience. Saying, did he straight up admit to enjoy queer baiting, Buddy baiting the fans? Like, I guess we all pretty much knew this at this point, but he actually said the quiet part out loud this time, and this is what one person wrote on Twitter. The other person is saying the possibility of Buddy getting together is what makes it exciting. Like he's fully just saying he enjoys the queer bait of it all. A third agreed, saying he really just admitted to enjoy queer baiting people with Buddy. And another person posted this tweet, which I thought was funny, and it said, Buddy in season 16, I fear. And they show Olivia, Benson, and Stabler. Benson and Stabler for Law and Order SVU. Because remember back in the day, we used to see Benson and Stabler on SVU, and we would think like, okay, they're gonna hook up. Like they are literally more like they're more than partners. Like you could possibly see them as a couple. And then there was that one time when Chris Maloney had left the show and came back during one episode. I think it was a crossover episode, and he was about to get intimate with Olivia, and she was like, "I want to, but I can't." So it's giving that. And so now, I know y'all not up in here trying to talk about like Pink News. Y'all really gonna sit up here and give us what queer baiting mean? I guess they doing that because they think a lot of straight people read their publications because the gays stay trying to pander to the straight audience instead of doing things for the gays. But we already know what queer baiting means. Do I need to even tell y'all what it means? So we're not gonna go there. So they said other fans hit out at what they felt was a suggestion that Buddy fans want to turn 911 into a steamy gay romance a la Heated Rivalry, saying, quote, nobody's asking him to turn a procedural show into a romance-only Buddy focus. One viewer eye rolled. We just want them to have their love storyline. It's not so difficult. Another agreed, really confused as to what made him think we want 911 to be a romance show that only focuses on Buddy. On the other hand, some 911 viewers were just happy to be vindicated in their insistence that there's spark between Buck and Eddie. One person said, I do think we have ignored the obvious elephant in Tim's statement, which is him outright confirming that Buddy has been intentionally written with the possibility of romance implied, and therefore no one can ever call us delusional again. Well, I guess if that's what you took from it, then by all means, niece, congratulations. But I'm on two minds about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad that the people behind the scenes are aware, because I'm sure they read all the comments and the shipping that a lot of the fandom does, and they see that they have that chemistry. I don't know if I necessarily want Buddy to be a thing, only because some of the stuff that Ryan Guzman has said in the past regarding trans people and stuff. So I don't know if I necessarily want him to play up the gay thing, unless to just be shady. Then it's like, okay, well, let him get with another man, so that way you're gonna force his act to have to do an intimate scene with someone of the same gender. Since some of the things you said in the past makes it seem like you have a problem with the Levitical community. So while I like the chemistry between these two, while I like the fact that we have Buck out here exploring his sexuality, I feel like we've seen this happen time and time again, not just with the gay couples, but with straight couples. Whenever we get to the point of will they, won't they, from like Moonlighting to The Nanny on to this show, once you get to that point of you made them a couple, it kills the momentum, it kills the situation, and the show goes downhill. Because then what if they break up? What if they realize, like, we had this great chemistry, and then we finally did the do, and then it was trash, and then it's not going to work out. Like, things change. Because we've seen that happen. It's like people who've been boyfriend and girlfriend for like 20 years, and the minute you get married, it's like it's a shift. It's like, damn, a year later we get a divorce. Look at Pam and Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. They was dating for a long time. The minute they got married, it became this disaster of a marriage. So we've seen that situation that has happened. So I don't know if I would necessarily want those two to get together. I think if someone is coming out and saying that they're into girls and guys, that let Buck explore his homosexual side a bit and date around and see other people and all this other stuff. I mean, I guess because he has a good relationship with Eddie's son Christopher, and they do come across as a couple. Like, there's that situation there that I can't see him screwing that up or whatever. But I like the idea that they keep them apart and they're all doing their own thing and dating different people and keep and edging y'all, I guess. So I know a lot of y'all are just mad about the situation. It is what it is, but I do have to say I agree with some of the fandom where they all said that they love the fact that Tim Minear is coming out as somebody who's behind the scenes in the show. He's well aware of Buddy. So shout out to y'all. But we'll see how that all how that all works out as the show continues, for as long as it's on the air. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Are you all upset with the fact that Tim Minear is like, he's aware of the whole Buddy shipping situation, but he doesn't want to make it the focal point? And I'm saying, nobody's saying that you got to turn it into a full-on screw fest. Like, all we got to see is every time we see Buddy together that they're in la frangre delicto. I mean, that's why they got to be all hunching and stuff, that they're literally like, that's not what we're saying. And I think that's probably the irritation that I have when it comes to people and queer representation. Y'all think that when you show any kind of queer representation, it always has to be seeing gays fucking. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that they want to see, people want to see them get together as a couple and seeing how that story plays out. Because I have no problem with Aisha Hines and her lesbian relationship over there with her girl. So why we can't have it on the man side? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, so now let's see what the people are saying in the comments. Private Idaho. Oh, I love that movie. That's with River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves. F this show. The heck with the showrunners. Damn them all. I was like, well, goddamn. They said the same thing can be said about so many male duos on TV and film. Some pairings are just better remaining platonic. Byler being one example. Well, first of all, here's the thing about Byler. The thing that irritated me about that, they didn't. I don't feel like they really try to explore the possibility of something being there. Because I would have loved to have seen that. And also with the whole Will coming out situation, I just felt like that whole coming out scene was clunky. It just didn't feel like it fit. Like the world's about to come to an end, and now all of a sudden you want to have a long-winded ass I'm coming out party in front of people who have no real connection. Like you had all these other people that had no instant connection with you in that throughout your whole life in that room, and you coming out to all these people. Like it wasn't realistic. The Duffer Brothers just screwed. Don't even get me started on this past season, because y'all already know how I feel. Like I'll be here all night going in on how that last season was a mess. So I would have liked to have seen the possibility of Mike and Will having a thing, or the possibility of something being there. But the way that the show was building up with these characters, it didn't leave room for the possibility of that even being explored. Even though the fandom wanted it, it just didn't feel earned. It didn't feel like the writers really explored that. Or a lot of, because Child Quiet as it's kept, I didn't even buy Mike and 11. I did not buy that relationship. I was sitting there like, I'm not buying it one bit that these two even have any kind of remote chemistry. You said the idea of Buddy is the most exciting. That's queer baiting. Either do it or not. Just pick a lane. Absolutely. The whole edging thing is like, this is not the old days of Tony and Angela on Who's the Boss, or Mr. Sheffield and Fran Fine on The Nanny. We all played that whole situation up. Percy Guzman could sit on the Rusty Nail and Twist. I'd rather see Buck and Tommy. That's why I said I like their chemistry together. I don't like that they broke them up. But I want to see Buck explore more of his male on male, not steady. Steady, are you ready? What's going on? Cold, fresh air. Feel the melody that's in the air. Y'all know that song. But anyway. It's funny how like y'all will throw something in there and I could just go right into a song. Shout out to Soul to Soul. That was my shit. I remember like when I used to live in Brooklyn, when I lived in the projects growing up. I cannot tell you, like when that song came out, everybody was blasting that shit out their window. That's how I just remember that damn song. I was like, you already knew if it was a hit, people was blasting it out their window. That was what we did back in the day, in the 80s and 90s. Okay. So, but anyway, where are we at? Okay, looks like we're at the end of the show. So, thank you all for tuning in to this crazy, episode of Chris Avalon Filtered. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell. So that way, when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Filtered. Have a great weekend. I'm going to be working all weekend and all that other stuff. So yeah, I'll probably be back Sunday, maybe Monday. Spill some OT and gossip, depending on what's going on. So yeah, love you all for watching. Thank you for your continued support. And until next time, ciao, darlings.